I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here.
My God.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Everybody hear me okay? If you can hear me, I want you all to smile. I want to see your teeth. If you ain't got no teeth, let me see your gums. Come on, everybody. There you go. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Hey, look, I definitely appreciate and honor the fact that you all are here. Young and mature. I was having a call with someone. He called himself old. I said, "You're not old. You're vintage, right? Cars get old. People, we mature. But this is an exciting time. But I want to have I really want to have a serious conversation with you here, if you don't mind. So we're going to change the tempo a bit. So I think there's time that we really talk about some stuff that's important that I don't think that we talk about a lot. But I want you to listen. If you just are in silence, I want to know if you can hear it. The time that is silently ticking away in the background that's slipping into eternity. That time that you're going to never be able to get back. But many of us were too busy and too distracted to realize that our most precious resource, the great equalizer that we all have in common, is being squandered. And one of the reasons why is because we get so much of this time replenished every single day so freely without having to work for it or to earn it. It's very easy to take it for granted. That's why we just put stuff off, we procrastinate. We've had so many yesterdays and we expect so many tomorrows because we constantly hear the music of time playing. We don't realize that the music is starting to slow, and at some point in time, the music stops. You know how many people heard the music of time playing going into 2021, and they don't hear that music anymore going into 2022? Why are we taking time for granted? Listen, I used to tell people, yesterday is a canceled check. Tomorrow's a promissory note. Today is cash on hand. This is all we got. If you think about it, this is all we really have to work with. So my question for you to start this is, how many more todays are you going to sacrifice to your fear and not do what you know you should be doing? How many more days or how much more time are you going to sacrifice to thinking about it, or to procrastinating, or to wishing for it instead of just standing up and going out there and working for it, or hoping something happens instead of just buckling up, strapping, and going out there and hustling and making something happen? We live a life of passivity, and a lot of that is conditioning, as opposed to going out there and willing to embrace the hurt and the danger and proactively make stuff happen, regardless of what the odds are. Many of us want the odds to constantly be in our favor, and we're looking for a level of certainty of success. Well, the only thing that is certain is that you're not going to win if you don't do anything, right? So as you think, I want you to think about the people in whose lives that are depending on you, that are going to suffer the consequences of your inactions because you're willing to sacrifice them. You prefer to sacrifice them for your fears instead of sacrificing your fears for them. Now, many times we don't think about it like that. We think in terms of ourselves. Well, I don't want to do this because I'm afraid, or I don't want to be let down. I don't want to be disappointed. Well, that's kind of selfish because you're only thinking about you. You're not thinking about, look, if I don't take this risk, if I don't do this, if I don't put this on the line and at least give myself the chance to win, these people automatically lose. Why? Because I'm the leader. You all are the leaders. You're the ones that are here on the front line, looking to make change financially going forward for your families, to alter the family tree, not just for the moment that you're here, but something that can last for generations. You're the ones that are here. The other ones aren't here. They may mock, they may snicker, they may not approve of it, but you better believe in all their doubt and snickering, they do want you to win. They just don't want the disappointments. And sometimes when you get your hopes up, if something doesn't happen, you lose that hope and you become disappointed. And people don't really want that pain or disappointment. But it's not that they don't want you to win. So I want you to think about that, because I don't think you love your fears and your doubts and your apprehensions more than you love your own family or your future or your legacy. But if you put your fears ahead of the right thing to do that's going to improve your family's future financially and in other means, well, which one is priority, your family or your fears? Aren't they worth going to war for? I mean, aren't they worth battling through whatever it is you have to battle in your own mind or your own body and your own emotions or whatever it is you have to go through, so that at least you have the opportunity for them to win and to have better lives and to not repeat the things of the past? Look, you are the ones that are here. This is your chance. This is your opportunity. You're the ones that have the guts. You're the ones that are here. Whether it's your fourth time or it's your first time, you are here. So you have to ask yourself, you know what, this is 2022. Now, my question is, what is it do you refuse to tolerate anymore? What is it you refuse to live without? I'm not talking about something you want. You've been wanting stuff for years, and you don't have all the stuff, of any of the stuff that you want, because that's what it is. It's just a want. It's not something that you refuse to live without, that you're willing to put everything on the line for to make sure that it happens. It's not just because you're going to benefit, that's because the other people are going to benefit as well. And the benefits are going to outlast your lifetime. But I mean, you have to find out what that thing is. There's people that are depending on you that I know you don't want to let down. And sometimes we don't think about, look, dude, if I don't go out there and take these hits and keep getting up and keep pushing through until I hit my inflection point of winning, everybody behind me, everybody that's depending on me, all these people automatically are going to lose, because nobody else has the guts to go out there to do this thing. And that thing could be this, it could be anything. I'm just talking about the fact that you are here, and this is not a spectator sport. You don't win spectating, looking at what other people are doing. You have to kind of roll up your sleeves and step into this thing and make it happen. And see, the thing is as you're going into this transitional period of into a new year, I don't want you skating through. Right? I want you to be mad. I want you to be pissed. I want you to be excited. I want you to be committed. The thing that I don't want you to be is I don't want you to be the same man or woman you were last year. Because how did that work out for you? Even if you did okay, you can do better. You don't have to be that same man or woman that you were last year. Right? This is a new year. Okay, great. But the only way you're going to reach that next level is to demand the best of yourself. You have to command that best for yourself. You have to start to lead yourself, regardless of what you may be feeling, or you may be thinking, or what other people may be thinking, or what other people may be feeling. And you have to stop planning it all and just step in and start doing it all. There's, I don't know if you all know who Seneca is. He's one of those, it's an old, ancient, I don't know if I'm gonna use the word ancient, but historical Stoic philosopher. He once wrote that the fools have one thing in common. He said that they're always getting ready to start, then they're always getting ready to change, and then nothing happens. They're constantly getting ready. They're constantly preparing and thinking about stuff. And I personally think that has to do with fear. I want to keep track of the time. I don't know how much time I have, but I want to keep track of the time. But I do want to make sure that we cover some stuff here, because this is going to be important for us to cover. But I think it has to do with fear. And I know this is old acronym out there. Fear is false evidence appearing real. And in our conversation we had at the previous event, I said, I don't really buy into that idea. I know it's a really popular thing that people regurgitate, but there's a lot of different sayings out there that people say, and it's like, do you even think about what it is you're saying, even though it's popular? Now, the reason I don't buy into the idea that fear is false evidence appearing real is because you're having this real experience that you begin to argue with. So now you start to create this inner conflict, and you're trying to, oh, I'm not really feeling this. Oh, it's just something that's false and it's appearing real. No, are you really feeling this? Yes, you are. But when you start to take that approach, you start to create this inner conflict. So I have something different in terms of the way I look at it. But first of all, what is fear anyway? If you remove the label, it's just energy. That's all it is. It's energy surging through your body, just like excitement. It's an energy surging through your body, but based on the environment or the event, you label it as something. And then when you put that label on it, that energy becomes a certain thing that moves you a certain way. So my acronym for fear, and I'll tell you why once I tell you the acronym, is feeling energized and ready. And the reason why is because I'm recognizing that it's energy, and instead of resisting it and fighting it, I'm stepping into it, embracing it, and using it. It can't use me because I'm going to use it. Many times when a person feels fear, they run in the opposite direction, right? what if this doesn't work and all this other kind of stuff? And they're being controlled by the fear in that energy, as opposed to understanding, well, if it's really energy and I have the choice to label it whatever it is I want, I can step into it or I can step away from it. What am I going to choose to do? Well, you can choose to step into that energy. So, I mean, you can try that on for size and see how that works for you. But what we're going to cover here over the next few minutes is something that I personally hope would give you a different perspective or a new perspective, if not a better perspective, on some different things going forward. But to kind of illustrate that real quickly, I'm going to demonstrate something, then I want you all to do it, right? I want you to point your finger to the ceiling. You can point it way up, or you can just point it right here. Let me do it first. And then, by the way, if you see me looking over here, it's because I can see all of your faces right on the screen. Then I want you to turn your finger clockwise, if you know what clockwise is. And then I want you to pull it down. I want you to look inside of it. And then I want you to shout out, although I can't hear you, or you can type it, which direction your finger is going. So is everybody ready? Let me see your teeth or your gums. Yeah. Okay, all right, cool. All right, so I want you to point to the ceiling, turn your finger clockwise, pull it down. Come on, look inside of it. Which way is your finger going? Shout it out. I can read lips. What? Okay, come on, do it again. Point to the ceiling. Somebody said left. Turn your finger clockwise, pull it down, look inside of it. Oh my gosh, he must be a magician. Which direction is your finger going? Right? Now, some of you are doing it like this, like either I'm crazy, you're crazy or something. That's not the way, it's this way. Now, notice one thing. You started up clockwise. And then as you pulled it down and you looked inside of it, your finger started going counterclockwise. But did you change the direction of your finger? Yes or no? No. What was the only thing that changed? Your perspective changed, right? A change in perspective can be a change of life. Think about it. Have you ever been with somebody and they had food in their teeth, a booger in their nose? Maybe it was your booger in your nose, right? And the interesting thing is although they're the closest one to the food in their teeth or the closest one to the booger in their nose, they can't see it. They're the closest one to it, but they can't see it. How's that? Perspective. Proximity does not always give you the best view. Having someone else, like a coach or someone or mentor or partners there that have a different perspective can help you to see things that you're missing. Because see, here's the thing, when we get this different perspective, and we see that there's an opportunity to, you know what? Wow, I can do this now as opposed to this. And wow, now I see, well, that may cause us to have to deal with something that many people don't really like dealing with all the time. So I want everybody to do this. I want you to cross your arms. Cross your arms, everybody. I can see you. Full participation. Very good. Come on. All right, cool. Cross your arms. All right, cool. Now look at which wrist is on top. Take note. Okay, you only got 2 wrists, so this should be easy to keep track of. All right, okay, uncross your arms. Nice. Now cross them the opposite way. Okay, now look at wrist. Okay, cool. Now let me ask you a question. Okay, thank you very much. Let me ask you, was it as comfortable the second way as it was the first way? Yes or no? No, not really. But was it possible? Yes. And that's what change is like. Change isn't all the time comfortable, but it is for the most part all the time possible to deal with. I remember the story of the little girl. She was going through these different changes, and she went to talk to her dad that was in the kitchen cooking at the time. And she was explaining all these different things to him, and he didn't really know exactly how to respond to her. But he pulled out 3 pots and he brought 3 pots to a boiling water, and he put an egg in one, he put coffee in another, and he put carrots in one. And he just let them go for a minute, and then he took them off, and he asked his daughter what happened. And she was trying to figure it out. And then she kind of caught on. And she said, well, the eggs were soft on the inside and they became hard. The carrots were hard and then they became soft. And the coffee beans turned the water into coffee. And he said, that's right. He said, when change comes, you may not necessarily be able to control what's changing, but you can control how you respond to it. You can become like the egg and become hard and immobilized and feel as if there's nothing you can do. You can become like the carrot and become soft and fragile and feel as if there's nothing you can do. Or you can use the change like the coffee beans and use it as raw material to transform the environment, like the coffee changed the water into coffee. So we have the choice. We can't control what's changing economically, politically, socially, but complaining about the change is not going to benefit us. What we want to look at is how do we leverage this change? And I know about that in a major way. I was kicked out of high school up with a 10th grade education. It's a very long, interesting story, but I'm going to compress it for you. I was a young entrepreneur and I was out of class more than I was in class. I was really destructive and distracting. I started a pharmaceutical company, if you know what I mean, not one of my proudest moments, but took the company from, I was out in like Temple Hills, Maryland, went to Greensboro, North Carolina, business expansion. And that's where I got shot. And I still have that bullet in me to this day. And I still remember the night. I was at the Farrell Inn Hotel. And this is one of the hotels where the doors were on the outside. And I remember one of the guys that brought me out there for the expansion, got a little jealous. I remember the day I came out, he's out there, he has the gun pointed straight to my head. He decided to shoot me in my leg, barely missed the artery. They left the bullet in there because the hospital said, I was at the Moses H. Cohen Hospital. They said it would do more damage for us to go in and try to take it out. So we're just going to leave it in. I don't know if that's true or not. They probably like, this is a black dude from the streets. He ain't got no insurance card. Leave that bullet up in there. I don't know. But at that point in time, I started evaluating my life, trying to figure out, how did I get myself into this situation? So I decided to stop running the streets and do some legit stuff and be the entrepreneur. I thought things would get better. They didn't. It was one horrible thing after the next. I was trying different businesses, and ultimately I ended up being bankrupt and homeless. At this time, I was up in Montgomery County, living in Temple Hills, Maryland. And I met a guy at a Fuddruckers off of that Rockville Pike that runs from Temple Hills, Maryland down to Rockville, Maryland. And he allowed me to sleep on the floor of an empty office space he had at his mortgage company. And he wouldn't let me go to his house. So to clean up, I had to literally go in that bathroom late at night and use that sticky liquid soap and those rough brown paper towels to clean up. That was my life. I had a little, I don't know, maybe 4-channel television or something he gave. And during the time, Monday Night Football would come on. So that was kind of like my highlight of the week. But eventually, I went through a lot of stuff, homicidal thoughts, suicidal thoughts. It was a really, really rough time. It was a time of weird self-discovery. But long story short, I took a borrowed computer and internet connection because I had a lot of time on my hands at that time. And this was going into the late 1990s. Long story short, I literally took that and launched the business on January 1st, 2000. I don't know if you all know what was going on January 1st, 2000, but it was a combination of the Y2K bug, everybody's freaking out, and the tech bubble was basically bursting. And I started my first internet business at that time and did $35,000 in the first 2 weeks. My first year did 500 grand. The second year did over $1 million, and then got on to do over $20 million. And that was from a guy that was kicked out of high school and homeless. So wherever it is you are right now, you have more resources than I had. It's not about what you have access to, it's how you use your access. And all I had really was this. And the idea that I don't have to continue to be the person that I was. And by the way, I had lost every friend who was supposed to be a friend. I no longer had any distractions. And it was in that moment I started to understand that being and becoming. And I want you to catch what I'm about to say here. A lot of people want to be successful. There's no question you're here, you want to be successful. It's like if I want to say, how many of you want to be successful? Everybody, yes, we want to be successful. Well, here's the thing. There's no being successful without becoming successful. Understand that. There's no being successful without becoming successful. If you want to be successful, we have to embrace the becoming part with just the process. Now, all of us, I believe we are genetically engineered for success. Kind of like the caterpillar is genetically engineered to become a butterfly, right? Think about this, the caterpillar, unless something happens, like a bird gets it or something, it is genetically designed and engineered to become a butterfly. There's nothing that is going to stop that transformation and metamorphosis from happening ever. But unlike us, regardless of what you're genetically engineered to become, regardless of what you can metamorphose into, whatever you can transform into, you have the ability to talk yourself out of that transformation. You have the opportunity and the ability to allow other people to talk you out of that transformation. See, a caterpillar don't know suicide thoughts. It ain't gonna leap somewhere. A caterpillar's gonna be like, I don't want to be a butterfly. Can't. It's gonna be the butterfly. I don't want to. It can't be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go into the cocoon. You're going into the cocoon, whether you like it or not. There's no resisting in that process. But we have the opportunity to resist our metamorphosis, to resist the transformation, because we may not like it. We don't want to be in the cocoon. We don't want to be separated. We want to continue to fit in. What are people going to say about my wings when they have all the legs? What are they going to say about my beautiful spots? Because you're going to be different at that point. You're not going to be the same. When somebody says, you change, you damn right I changed. You expect me to be the same? How long has it been? What, are you kidding me? Right? So if a caterpillar is destined to fly, it has to trade off its legs for its wings, because it can never crawl fast enough to fly. So you have to ask yourself, if I'm destined to succeed, there are certain things I'm going to have to trade off to be able to do that. But many of us were so glued and we're so stuck to certain things, we're not willing to make that trade-off. We want the security, but we want the success. They don't exist in the same environment. It's just impossible. When you're becoming successful and you don't know what that road looks like without a coach, especially if you're going someplace you've never been there before, how do you know what the road looks like? How do you know any of that stuff? There's going to be levels of uncertainty. We have to be willing to embrace that, because that's a part of the becoming, and not put off the joy and the celebration waiting to hit a certain destination, but being able to enjoy and to be happy with the growth that we experience along the way. Right. So I want to talk about your point of view. And the reason I bring it up is because point of view is important. And I want to add this because I had a coaching session today, it was actually pretty fascinating. So I want to ask you a question. Is your point of view rigging the game against you? Your game of life, is your own point of view rigging the game against you? Right? We know casinos are rigged. We know games are rigged. We know a lot of different things can be rigged. They can be rigged against you, which means the odds of you winning are slim to none, because it's rigged. Right? We know that's in life. But is your point of view, and I'll let you know what point of view means in a minute, but when I tell you what I heard today in one of the coaching sessions, you'll probably get to the point. So I had a coaching session, beautiful lady, and we were starting to talk about, what some of her financial goals were. And I said, so what would you like to make, each month? And she said, $500. I'm like, I'm taking it back. I'm like, okay, cool. Talked a little bit more, and then she said $10,000. And then something happened. And she looked at me, because we were on camera, she said, that makes me very uncomfortable. I was like, okay, that's interesting. So what makes you uncomfortable about that, about the $10,000? And then she mentioned something I had never heard before. I mean, maybe you all heard it before. She called it the Jantilian law, the law of Janton, right? Sweden, right? And she was telling me how she was brought up. And the mental conditioning behind that was really interesting. So, and one, I applaud her. I don't need to mention her name, but I applaud her in her fight and her persistence after having that level of mental conditioning for so long, and now she's an adult, to move above and beyond that. But some of the beliefs in that law are, you're not to think you're anything special, that you're not to think you're good at anything, you're not to think if anyone cares about you. And I'm not making this stuff up. You can go look it up yourself. I mean, I'm just like, and this is a mindset that is conditioned in them. And that's why she was uncomfortable. Now, her belief system is obvious, but you may have a bigger challenge, because you may be believing stuff and doubting, and you don't know where it's coming from. So whose beliefs are holding you back, and you borrow those beliefs? You've embraced them as your own, but are they really your own beliefs? Who taught you to believe what you believe? Right? Who taught you to think the way you think? Who taught you to feel how you feel? Who taught you to respond how you respond? Somebody taught us it, right? So sometimes we have to check, if I want to accomplish this and I want to do this, why am I believing I'm going to fail or it's not going to work? How does that serve me, and where is that coming from? So your point of view, and the reason that I was talking about point of view is, if you want to write this down, I know you know what POV means, point of view, but there's three things. One is the P is the persecutor. You can go and look back at 12 months and you can persecute people. All of them, persecute them. That's the P. Or you can be the O, which is the owner. It doesn't matter what happened. I own the fact. Like you can say, this person did this. I'm persecuting this person. They betrayed me. They did this. They stole. They lied. They did whatever. And you're pointing at them. You're persecuting them. Or you can own the fact. It does not mean they did not do it, but you own the fact. I picked them. I put myself in that business deal. I put myself in that environment. I'm the owner. I own it. But see, if I'm the persecutor, I can't do anything about it. I don't have any power. But if I'm the owner, I can do something about it. Or you can be the V, which is the victim. Oh, look at what they done to me. Somebody rescue me. 911, man down. Somebody rescue me. Ain't nobody rescuing you. You're going to rescue yourself or you ain't going to be rescued. This is how it is. So you have a choice. You can be the persecutor, you can be the owner, or you can be the victim. Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. People do get victimized. Being victimized is a moment in time. Being a victim is a choice over a period of time. We don't have to be a persistent victim to a moment of victimization. Keep that in mind. Those are two totally different things, at least in my mind. So do people do bad stuff to people? Yeah, but I'm kind of looking at it like this. I may have to live with, to the extent that I want to keep it in my mind, something bad that was done to me, but they have to live with who they are, the person that did it. So who do you think's in the worst position? What happened that I was a part of, or the person that did it? They're in the worst position. Totally worst position. So, okay, so let's talk about where we are right now in our and the more so this transition, 2021, 2022. So when you look back, now, if you know me, you know I look at looking and seeing as two different things, because I totally believe that what you're looking at is not what you see. Now, how do we know that? Well, because two people can look at a snake, one sees a pet, one is in terror, and they see a threat. But they're looking at the same thing. They're both looking at a snake. One wants to be wrapped around it and let it slither and do all that other kind of stuff. The other one, they're hyperventilating and they're running. What? So, but they're looking at the same thing. Heights. One wants to jump, one's ready to faint. So what we're looking at is not what we're seeing. Now, why do I bring that up? Because when you look back on the last 12 months, what are you seeing? When you look at the last 12 months, what are you seeing? When I look back, I do three things, and I'm gonna encourage you to do three things. So you may want to write these three things down. The first thing you want to do is reflect. And you reflect on the experiences, because I want you to think about it. What you've had over those 12 months of a previous year were experiences. Don't be so quick to jump and label them as good and bad and start attaching emotions to them. Just reflect on the different experiences that you had. And then you can pick ones and highlight them and then just kind of review what happened. For example, maybe you got started in Kindle cash flow at some point last year. You start to reflect on that. Okay, cool. Now you want to start reviewing what happened, right? And then, and this is the most powerful part, catch it, rewrite. Rewrite the parts that you want to continue into this year. You rewrite the story. When I'm looking at something, if I'm reading something or I'm looking at something, three questions I ask myself. What happened? You can write these down. What happened? What does that mean to me? I personalize it. And then what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do about it? Now I want to see if I can attach an action to it. Because thinking about last year and thinking about this year and thinking about all this stuff, how many times have you done that? It produces nothing. It does not produce anything. We want to do something radically different this time around. Radically different this time around. So reflect on the different experiences. We don't have to jump to label anything as good or bad, happy or sad, or attach any level of emotion to it. Let's just reflect on all these different experiences and the fact that we are breathing. We have blood pumping through our veins. We have oxygen in our lungs. We have air going through our nostrils. That means you are alive. And as long as you are alive, the game isn't over. You do not have to sit on the sideline. You can get up and keep doing it again and again and again until you win. Nobody on the sideline has the right to dictate when you quit and if you quit. That is only your right to do. And quitting requires your full participation. I don't care who's in your ear. I don't care what anybody has said. It requires your full participation to quit, to feel a certain way, to feel happy, sad, disappointed. You don't feel that way without your own consent. So nobody makes us feel a certain way. We make that choice. So I want all of us to step in and just get pissed off. We're no longer giving our power of choice and identity and direction in life over to anybody else anymore. If I want to do something, I'm going to do it because that is my right. I'm choosing to do this. I don't care if the people behind me want to kick and scream. They're going to be celebrating when this thing wins. Kick and scream for now. I'll come back and get you, right? And tell you where the party is. But I'm not going to allow you kicking and screaming to prevent me from going forward. Now, to kind of give you a real life scenario, there's a book called, what's it? It's a Dark Heart book. I don't think I ever want to give you the name. But anyway, one of the things that we're talking about, I think it was back during the Civil War. Anyway, it was during a time during heavy war where they didn't have anesthesia and all this other kind of stuff, and the doctors had to do amputations and all this in the field on soldiers. And the soldiers would be strapped to tables screaming for the doctors to stop because of the pain. But the doctors had to have this dark type of heart, but it wasn't a mean one, where they would resist because the doctors would be compelled because they didn't want to inflict the pain because they were feeling for the soldiers. They did not want to hurt the soldiers, and they were screaming in anguish. Can you imagine if somebody is sawing off a part of you? There's no anesthesia. And but they knew that if they stopped, the soldier would die. So the only way to save the soldier's life was to continue even while they were screaming for them to stop. And I think that's important because many times people around you are screaming for you to not do something, but you not doing it will kill them. It will kill them financially. It will kill them in other ways. You think by not doing it, you're saving them. That's not what you're doing. And you have to evaluate that situation for yourself. And I get it. We have compassion and we want to take care of the people that are around us, but sometimes silencing their short-term objections in disapproval just to have peace can create bigger trauma later. The peace you may have short-term is not going to measure to the hell you'll pay for later because you didn't do the right thing. And that's something we have to evaluate ourselves. I'm not here to dictate to you, what's what in your situation. What I want to talk to you is real talk, not no fluff motivational stuff, but real talk. We have lives that are on the line. We have legacies that are online right here. And time is running out for all of us, every single one of us, but yet we play around with it. We have to start taking this thing a little bit more seriously. And it's not that we can't have fun, but we have to take this seriously. When you have this opportunity, it's like, I'm seizing the opportunity right here, right now, let's go for it. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. I see it's working for all the other people. And here's how I look at it. Show me the man or the woman that has a 25th hour in the day, that does not have to eat, that does not have to sleep, and does not ever have to drink water their entire life. Then you have shown me a man or a woman that's greater than me. Other than that, you show me a man, you show me a woman, and whatever they can do, I can do, and maybe even better. But many of us, we look at these people and say, oh, they must be special, they must be special. No, they're not special. You just think so little of yourself. That's the problem. It's not that they're more special than you, not that they're better than you. You just think so little of yourself, you're not willing to step in to give yourself the opportunity to demonstrate that you can do exactly what they're doing, if not better. Despite how many role models you have and how many examples you had, whether it's this or anything else. But again, I just want to have real talk. So previous 12 months, but now what about the next 12 months? It's just taking the 12-month view, if you don't mind. Well, after you start to look at rewriting certain things, you want to preview. What can you preview? Like, let's just say Kindle. I mean, we're all here for Kindle, so preview your Kindle business. Okay, so what do you want to preview? This is what it's going to look like in 12 months, right? Like you're previewing a movie. Like this is what's going to be happening in the movie. So I'm previewing what's going to happen in the next 12 months. Now I'm going to prepare what needs to be prepared. I need to have this in place. I need to have myself a coach, or I need to have myself a mentor. I need to have myself this, that, or the other. And now I'm going to proceed. I'm not sitting down. I'm not waiting. I'm not procrastinating. That's not one of them. And then I'm going for it. But these are the future desired experiences, right? Because we know what's possible, and this is not about what's possible for you and Kendall or with anything. It's all about probabilities. If you do something, the probabilities increase. You do nothing, the probabilities of you succeeding decrease. So ultimately, what I'm saying through that particular point is you can write an alternate ending to your story, but you need to write it with your actions, not just with your words. Right? Don't just write, oh, here's how it's going to end. No, you have to write it with your actions, not with your words. And I know we go through this journey with so many different experiences, and some things we can call painful. But you got to remember, all pain does not require the same response. You have the pain of injury and you have the pain of growth. If you were injured, well, that's a different kind of pain. But if you had different painful experiences from investments or business or relationships or whatever, it doesn't mean it wasn't painful, but there's growth that's involved with that. Just like you experience pain if you're working out and you're in the gym, you're pushing your muscles. And under that stress and strain and that lactic acid building up in that recovery process, they're actually growing stronger. So in the weakest moments where the muscles become the most fragile and the weakest, and they can't go another rep, and they've been broken down to the weakest point, you've actually pushed them to be able to come and bounce back to be stronger and to grow. And that's what life is like, right? So, I mean, I don't know how much time I have left, but I probably want to get ready to wrap this up. I know last year we had the Olympics. I'm fascinated by sports. I don't know. I kind of look at sports maybe with a different angle, but track and field to me is fascinating. But there's one particular event that stands out for very specific reasons. It is the hurdlers, right? The 100-meter hurdles. Why is that? Because, and to me, it's just fascinating. And for a metaphor, it's perfect. Because you have runners that prepare to overcome obstacles, the hurdles. Now, we know that all sports teams prepare for competition and opposition, but they team sports, individual sports. I'm just looking at the hurdles that a person has to get over, multiple hurdles to get over to cross the finish line. And in their preparation, they think the stronger I get and the faster I can clear those hurdles, I can win. The hurdles are not really obstacles, they're opportunities. Now, what happens if you look at whatever it is you're facing with, whatever it is you're calling an obstacle? What if that is the opportunity to overcome, to cross the finish line? What if that became your metaphor and you didn't look at the obstacle as a reason to turn away? You looked at the obstacle as the opportunity to overcome and to win. I mean, I don't know how that would change your life, but for me, I constantly remind myself on how in professional sports, teams prepare for someone looking to prevent them from winning. But how often do we in our life prepare for stuff to get in our way? We complain, like, what's going on? This ain't working, that's not working. All these different things that are going on, we're complaining about it. As if it's not supposed to happen. Says who? Who says that's not supposed to happen? Right? Think about it. What if you change your mindset? He said, I'm preparing every single day for everything to come against me. So bring it on. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to bob, to weave, to counterpunch. I'm ready to do it all. You're expecting stuff to go wrong, and I'm ready for it. You're not like, oh, if something goes wrong, and now you melt. Come on, man. We can't be weak-minded these times. We have to be ready to go to war for what is ours, what we want to get in life. Because I've said this here last time. I'll say it again. We don't get in life what we desire. We get in life what we deserve based on what we're doing. Can you imagine a football team, since football is going on, or a basketball team? A football team goes on the field and the defense is on the field. They're like, what are they doing on here? Why is there a defense on this field? Why are you trying to tackle me? Why are you trying to block my shot? Hello, can you let me dribble? Why you keep hitting the tennis ball back?
Beautiful.
Opposition.
Beautiful. Being
Yes.
ready for all of the opposition that comes your way. Isn't that a beautiful way to position the year, right? I mean, think about that, guys. Whether you are into sports or not, I think everyone gets that. Being ready for whatever obstacles. Imagine how life would be different if you were ready for whatever was to come your way, instead of being reactive to what came your way. Right? Stephen, that was beautiful. Let's give Stephen a big hand.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. How many people had some big takeaways there? How many people have multiple? You know, I was sitting here, me and Lenny, the boss, was watching the chat box here, Stephen, as you were talking, and we're looking at people. Someone said, you know what, just the feedback was incredible. It was so
Can I add
incredible.
one more thing? Can you give me 2 minutes to add one more thing real quick? And I promise I'm gonna make it quick.
Let's do it. Absolutely. I just want to give you your flowers real quick, because the coaches are in the background in the Slack group posting comments about things that they saw. So this is incredible. And then, guys, in the next 2 minutes, we're going to have an Ask the Marketer session. We're going to bring up Sue White, Caroline Trainer, Zoltan. We're going to bring up a couple of folks, and we are going to allow you to ask your most pressing questions about Kindle publishing. All right, sounds good? Stephen, back to you.
Okay, I appreciate it. And ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. This is why we do what it is that we do. All of us deserve to have the best in life. No one here is more valuable than you. Don't let anybody sell you on that. I don't care who's the prince, who's the king, who's the president. Their stature in this life does not make them a more valuable person than you. It does not matter what pedestal society puts them on. If you buy into that, you become a peasant in mentality and you start to live like a peasant. And as a peasant, you become a pawn in this game of life. And then you start to live a life of weak-mindedness. And all of a sudden, your life begins to crumble and you don't think you can accomplish anything. So I just want to say there's one thing real quick, and I'm going to be out of here, because I want you all to know that what you have access to right here is the most extraordinary opportunity in the world. And Ty's probably already talked about it. It's the only business in the world where you can make money if nobody buys anything. Nobody has to buy your books, and you still are able to make money. And some of you are probably thinking, oh, well, I don't believe. We don't care what you believe, because the process is not dependent on your belief system. It's not dependent on what you think. It's not dependent on what worked and didn't work in your past. If you want to write anything down, write this down. This business does not need your permission. It just requires your participation. That is it. You can do it with doubt. You can do it with fear. You can do it with apprehension. But as long as you do it, you can win. Because it does not require you to believe that it works for it to work. It just works because it's built into the process. I want you to remember that. This is, I don't believe it's going to work. I don't care. And the process doesn't care. I don't believe it's going to work. I don't believe it's going to work. But if you do it, it's going to work. And I want to make sure that you understand that, because this has nothing to do with what you believe in the process. The only role your process of your belief plays in is if you decide to do it or not. That's it. It is not, it's independent of the process. That's why when you look at our wall of success, you see so many different success stories from so many different parts of the world, different nationalities and different backgrounds. Why? Because the process is not biased. It does not care where you live, doesn't care about your background, your schooling, your race, your nationality, your sexuality. It doesn't care about any of that. The only thing it cares about are you following the process? And if you are, and you're following it consistently, not haphazardly, sporadically, occasionally when you feel like it, but you're following it consistently, and you have the patience for it to pay off, you get the reward. You can't spectate and be like, oh, look at all of them. All you have to do is participate. That's all you have to do. Participation at whatever level fits. You're worth it. Your family is worth it. It's the only question I have for you, and I'll turn it over to Ty. is what are you going to do about it? That's it. All right, Todd, appreciate the extra couple minutes. You're muted, Todd.
Awesome, awesome message, folks. Awesome. Guys, part of the Fast Pass program, right, is people like Stephen coming on and we having great guests that are part of his program and coming in and getting the best out of you, getting you to this next level, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get some of our folks that are in the actual Fast Pass program. So Abigail, if we can bring up, what do you guys think of Stephen as we bring these individuals on as well? Let them know in the chat box, all right? Let them know, what did you think? This is amazing, right? Awesome, awesome, awesome. So Abigail, let's bring on our marketers. We're gonna have an Ask the Masters session. We're going to bring on Sue White. We'll bring on Caroline Trainer. We'll bring on Nate Mascari, Michael Lopez, right? Brian Topshire. We've got Zoltan Fehar here, all right? We've got, who else? Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone. All right. So you guys, we've got Michael, we've got Sue, we've got Caroline, we've got Zoltan, all right? We've got Michael Lopez, Brian Topshire, Nate. Here's what I want to do. We're going to take a couple of minutes here, guys. And you guys see these folks in the group. You see their successes. You see how well they're doing. And I want to give you a chance to ask them your most pressing Kindle publishing questions. So here's what you're going to do. Post your questions into the chat box. I'm going to read these questions off. And Michael, Brian, Zoltan, you guys come in and answer where you see fit. All right? Answer where you see fit. And I'm also going to ask you guys some selfish questions as well. Part of my ability of being able to bring a bunch of super smart people on here is I get to learn from you as well. So I get to come in and cherry pick and ask some questions and say, hey, how do you do this? Or how did you do that? And how did you do that? And typically my questions are around mindset, because I know that, as Stephen said, the process is the process, right, guys? The process is the process. But when you look at the folks that are on your screen right now, what typically stands out is the way that they think, the way that they believe, all right? So let's see. If you guys can unmute yourself really quickly so that when it's time, you can just jump in, all right?
All right.
So if you want to just take 10 seconds and introduce yourself. Let us know where you're from. Give us your name and then where you're from, and we'll go with ladies first. So we'll start all the way up north and start up in Canada with Sue. And just give us a quick bio. Hey, my name is Sue. I'm from Canada. I got started with Kindle Publishing back in XYZ.
Well, you've done most of it for me already, Ty, so that you haven't left me much.
You got the XYZ part, right? So there's
I've got the XYZ part. In Canada, we say Z. We don't say Z.
Right, Z. There you go.
All the things that Ty just said, yes, I'm on the west coast of Canada, so near Vancouver, and we have a very snowy day here, and it's very weird weather for us. But anyway, I'm super happy to be here with everybody this weekend again at another amazing event, and it's always really exciting for me to get to have the honor actually of being a part of it as a coach. So thank you to Ty for that opportunity again this time. When did I get involved in Kindle publishing? It was at the very beginning of, I've lost track of the years because of COVID, I have to admit. I think I've lost about a year. It was in the sort of middle stages, I think, of 2020 is when I first got started. And I dabbled for a little bit, but I didn't really get focused until then. And I made some of the common mistakes that people do make. And so I had a little bit of a delayed start, but I started sort of in earnest mid 2020. That's my brief.
Awesome. All right, beautiful. Let's go over to Caroline. Caroline in the UK.
Caroline in the UK. So it's just the Z, or we say Z too. In the UK, not Z. So yeah, I live near London in the UK, and about the same time as Sue, actually, I started publishing. So I started publishing in April 2020, and I'm a great example of somebody who just decided to do my own thing. with publishing. I had the program and did my own thing, which is probably definition of insanity, potentially. And I was publishing children's books and learning lots along the way. So it was great exercise. And then things started to move for me about a year ago, where I sort of rebranded, changed the way I did things, followed the Ty's programs, went into the fast pass coaching, and then sort of had a really good year since then. So it's a pleasure to be here, and a privilege, obviously, to be working with you guys on here. So yeah, thank you.
Very cool. All right, guys, I'll let you guys duke it out. Who wants to go first?
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Nate. I'm from the Philadelphia area, and we use the Z in our alphabet here. And I started in Kindle publishing. I think we published our first book in November of 2019. And that was a perma-free book. And then we published our first paid book in December of that month. So it's been a couple years now, and it's been fun as hell, if I can be honest.
Yeah, Nate, and Nate actually Nate, you just got one of these plaques, right?
I did. Yeah, it's over there.
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna ask you if you can hold it up, but if it's away from you, that's fine. All right.
There it is.
It's over on the wall.
He's the Terminator of Kindle publishing. That picture is just so awesome. I'm sorry. It's just, I had to say it. I love it.
Yeah. He's got
Thank
a really
you.
cool. Nate, do you mind?
Sue's never let me live it down that I cut my hair.
I'm very upset still about it, actually. Yeah.
Do you mind reading off your numbers there over, what does it say on royalties earned there?
Mine, it's set here.
Take a look at this, guys.
Over 200,000.
All right, over 200,000 in Kindle publishing royalties earned. Look at that. And then, awesome. And you see that badass photo he's got with the haircut there, right? I agree with too. You shouldn't have to cut your hair. All right, who wants to go next?
I think I'm going bald now, to be honest with you.
Who's next?
I can go next.
There we go.
I'm Brian. I'm in the Fairfax, Virginia area, which is right outside DC. And I started in 2019. I went to the live event with Ty in late 2019, and I published my first book in early 2020. And pandemic hit, and it was a good time to keep rolling. So that's kind of been my history. I posted ever since April. I posted my results basically every month for people like Caroline to stalk me.
Talking big time.
Yeah, and Caroline did a great job with that, right? So Brian's got his plaque up there as well. Brian, what does your number say down at the bottom, if you don't mind?
Mine says 500,000.
Over 500,000 in royalties earned, over $500,000 in royalties earned, guys. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. Yeah, so I'm from Houston, Texas. I jumped in fast pass like December, actually like early November, September 2020, and kind of just, hit the ground running from there. Made some mistakes early on and learned from those mistakes. And yeah, same as Brian, I try to post monthly my numbers and kind of give a breakdown of what I've been doing and what's working and things like that along the way. Not only like to help everyone else in the group, but also to kind of hold myself accountable at the same time.
Very cool. And Michael's super humble. Michael actually, you can tell in his background, he's got the gold plaque for hitting 10,000 a month, right? So he has this one, but last month he just hit 20,000 a month. So he's going to be getting one of those platinum plaques. We're going to be sending that to him as well. And then he's got the other plaque that's right above the gold one. What do your numbers say there, Michael?
It says over 100K, 100,000 for the year.
100,000 at Kindle Publishing royalties there. And then last but not least, we've got Zoltan joining us. All right, Zoltan, I'll let you do the honors.
Hey guys, it's lovely to see all your faces live finally. I think everybody's familiar. So my name's Zoltan. I am from Hungary. I am in Hungary at the moment as well. Under normal circumstances, I live in the UK. And for the record, we say Z in Hungarian. And What else? Oh yeah, I started back in, I think it was 2019. I did a lot of dabbling. And as a matter of fact, I feel like I'm well, it's going to be a bold statement, but I'll say it. I'm before my big breakthrough in Kindle because I think I just cracked the code with paid ads. Thanks to that guy over there, Mr. Mascari, with the awesome guitar in the back.
Sweet, man. I'm glad to hear that.
So yeah, that's me.
Very cool, very cool. All right, guys, so here's how this is gonna work. You guys ask your questions, we'll ask the team, and then we'll cover them. So quick question, first question is from Felicia Chung. All right, Felicia says, I have just set up my pen name and I'm building my prequel, which should be done this week. Should I start Facebook ads for my author profile and buy a mailing list, right? Who wants to tackle that? And you guys can feel free to jump in if you want to. I mean, more than one person can cover a question. We'll just speed through these things. So I just set my pen name. I'm building my prequel.
Can I touch on this?
Yep.
So as the Facebook ads guy, I would actually do the opposite of Facebook ads. I would start with building your list on BookFunnel, because there's free ways to do this, and that's the way that I started. Was I put my prequel up on BookFunnel and just started growing my list, and it grows pretty quickly if you participate in there.
Yeah, the one thing I recommend with that is that you figure out what the title is and the blurb of the next book, and get that up on pre-order immediately, so that when they do read the prequel, they have something to go to buy as soon as that's done. Because if you don't have that, you lose that that little window of time you have to keep that customer.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Also, Story Origin is a great spot to get in promos and build your list as well.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So next question, great answers. Thank you. From Darius, what do you do when a Facebook ad isn't performing as you'd hope during launch week? So he's in launch week, and I guess his Facebook ad isn't performing. And this is singular, I guess, because he just said Facebook ad, not Facebook ads.
I would test more, to be honest with you. If it's not working, got to find out what's not working about it. Is it the image? Is it the headline? Is it the ad copy? So you got to take it through a testing process and test multiple things. So you want to test like multiple images. You want to test multiple headlines and multiple ad copies. And, you know, the way that since we don't have like attribution for sales on Amazon, the way that I track everything is through looking at the front end metrics like click-through rate. So if it's a higher click-through rate, you know, you have something that's engaging and that's resonating with your audience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and one thing.
Quick addition. Sorry, go on, Brian.
Okay, I say one thing I would say to that. I had somebody who had the opposite problem, that they had great click-through rates but not a lot of sales. And I told them, well, you need to. It's the same idea, just reversed. You got to look at, is it either your cover or your blurb is not hitting people the right way. So look at what you did in the ads and figure out how to translate that onto the book sales page on Amazon, because you're being told that your ad's great, but when they get to the page, they don't want to buy it. So you got to see why, figure out new blurbs, test those on Facebook, because Facebook is a great resource for actually testing what is working, what resonates with people. You can put the whole blurb on there if you want and see whether people are clicking through or not.
Yeah, brilliant.
I was actually going to say the exact same thing.
Okay.
Different wording. I genuinely believe that in order for a Facebook ad to work, pretty much everything has to be in place. And that includes the book cover, the blurb, the title, the audience. There's numerous factors. And so what I'm trying to say is that before I would start Facebook ads, I would make sure that my product is 100% cool, and that I also that I know who I'm targeting. I think those things need to be in place before you would start Facebook ads.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
And then the other thing, guys, is with your Facebook ads, you want to have congruency, right? So if the Facebook ad is appealing, if that image, if that text, if everything about the ad is appealing to the person enough to get them to click, you want to have congruency when they get to that actual page, right? So it shouldn't be a disconnect there. All right, so good question. Next question, this comes from Sue H. What's the #1 habit that you all think that you need to build to be successful in Kindle publishing? What would you say is one of those habits that you had to build in order to be successful in Kindle publishing? I'm actually interested in hearing the answer to this one as well from all of you guys.
Discipline.
I would say, yeah, I was going to say discipline as well. Like at the beginning, when I started taking the course, it's like, it's hours and hours of content. So you just have to discipline yourself to, watch these videos all the way through, take notes, try to distance yourself from distractions, just absorbing as much info as you can. Telling yourself that, you're going to watch these videos no matter what happens today, and, really discipline yourself and holding yourself accountable to that, and just taking action afterwards as soon as you absorb everything.
I'll add to that as well.
I learned that the hard way.
Yeah.
Over to you, Caroline.
I was also going to say consistency and rapid releasing, as I call it. So one of the things that I decided is and I remember, I think Michael put something like this in the group recently about his methods. I decided that I would publish every week and not fortnightly, every week, because I had a plan that I was going to take sort of 4 series to get to 10,000, which I did. And in between the series, there was sort of a 2-week gap. But essentially for me, that's been the key thing to build the momentum, so that consistency of action and rapid releasing. Then I could then sort of change strategy a little bit. And then I moved into bigger books less often, because I'd already built up that momentum. So readers knew exactly what was coming, exactly what was ahead of them, and there were no big gaps. Because I work with a lot of people when I'm coaching them, and there are big gaps in between books or series, and that can often mean then that people, they lose that momentum with their readers.
I completely agree. The one thing I would say is that I'm looking at my note here, but that for me it was, yes, the consistency, but to realize that there was no such thing as failure as long as I was doing something and learning from it. Mm-hmm. So you'll see in some of my original posts, I did some things that were against the grain, that weren't necessarily part of the course, that I realized, oh, this is why they said not to do this. But I was okay with that because I learned from it. And so part of that consistency was like, just keep doing. And I know I said a couple of times ago, like, hey, you miss all the shots that you don't take, but the reality is, even after you misfire, if you just keep going, you got to believe in yourself enough to say, well, that didn't work. I figure out why, do it again, just do it better this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyone else want to jump in?
Yeah, one thing that I like to do, like a daily habit or at least a weekly habit, is to write down your goals. So like the way that I do that is on Mondays, I'll write down what my goals are for that week, and then start listing out the tasks that I need to do to accomplish those goals. And then, I get to work. And then on Fridays, I'll, kind of like Steven said about looking back last year, I'll just look back at the last week and see, okay, did I do the tasks that I needed to do? Did I hit my goals? So I think, goal writing is super important. It's helped me a ton.
So you know what, Nate, I want to stay along those lines and ask a question that just came in from Will. So Will is asking, and I want to ask each of you guys this. What does a normal day look like? Do each of you have routines, or is each day different? And Caroline's smiling over there because I think she kind of has a routine there. So I'll put you on the spot, Caroline. You're in the middle right there, like the Brady Bunch.
Smiling because it's chaos most of the time.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, routines. I mean, I do, my day sort of involves now about 2 hours of publishing actions, which I'll do in the morning. And then a lot of my day is spent coaching and, you know, talking to people about the cash flow. So I schedule time in for the morning for me for my publishing business, because a lot of my calls and coaching takes place with people in the US, and I'm in the UK. So the afternoon and evening gets really busy. But I found that one of the things that I, before that, when I was focusing on just publishing, one of the things that I had to do is just map out my whole day every day on a Google calendar, even to the extent that I put in remember to cook for the kids, you know. Remember to do the school pickup. So I have to schedule everything in, which actually includes my downtime. I start the day off with meditation before I do anything, before I look at any emails, meditate. And then everything's sort of mapped out, like I said, in the calendar, literally to the hour.
Very cool.
Everybody has their own style of organizing themselves. And so I always find it really interesting to hear everybody's different way of doing it. I don't believe there's one right way. So anybody listening to what we're all saying, what we're doing, it doesn't mean that you have to do it that way. You're going to have to find what works for you. And everybody has different responsibilities and different demands on their time and their day. So it's great to get the feedback, but don't think that you need to match any one person and how they organize themselves and what works for them. For me, I have a bit of a like a routine, I guess you can say. And I've been playing around with that the last couple of years. And I used to be extremely structured, like this 15 minutes and then the next 20 minutes. And then for the next, and I would take like tiny little chunks of time like that and allocate them to certain things. I could not breathe. It was terribly, it was horrible. It was suffocating. So I am not as strict to that extent. I have more loose things. I have monthly goals. I have weekly goals. And inside of my weekly goals, I have the list of things that I want to do for the week, and I list them in priority order, so that on Monday, I start at the top and kind of work my way down, and I arrange them visually so that if this one here needs to be done in order for the next one to work, I have that on top, right? Sometimes you have to have a order of execution. So that's how I personally do it. I don't have a daily, today I'm going to do XYZ specifically. Oh, there's my alphabet again. And I said XYZ, what's going on? XYZ. Nate, look what you're doing to me.
You're coming over to this side.
So that's kind of how I don't have a daily task list necessarily. I have a weekly thing listed in priority order, just because for me, I found it too suffocating to do that. That said, I do have daily things I do. I check my Facebook ads every morning to see how they're doing. I usually do my email in the morning. I try to stay at least 2 days ahead. So I'm doing, like on Monday, I'm doing Thursday's email kind of thing, but I do an email every day. And I do kind of those structure things that are routine. A daily thing on a daily basis. And I do things that require my specific focus early in the day, because at the end of the day, I'm too tired.
Awesome.
That's what works for me. Some people get really creative at night, and I get tired. So I do that kind of stuff early.
There's one thing here that's been very useful. If I may jump in, excuse me, Sue, were you finished?
Oh, I'm quite done. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, I was just gonna say that one thing that really helped me is to just do one thing just one thing at the same time, and dedicate my full attention to it, and not do anything else. Do not tolerate any distractions, even if that's just for 15 minutes or half an hour, whatever. You know what your task is, and you dedicate your full attention to it. The way I usually do this is I switch off music, I put my phone away, I make sure that there's nothing that can interrupt whatever it is that I'm doing. And yeah, that's been very, very helpful.
Yeah, Zoltan, that's that singular focus that Marty was talking about yesterday, right? It's that singular, just putting on the blinders, and that's it. All right, awesome.
There you go.
Yeah. And it will depend on what people have got going on, of course, and whether you've got kids, not kids, and job, no job, you know, all of that. And Sue's point about doing certain actions in the morning is a good one, because some people have a particular time of the day, if they have got children, where they have a quiet time. And for me, when I was building my business, it was actually late at night. Was the time when I got more creative. So it's going to be different for different people. And that's the key. I think as long as it's acknowledging, this is my routine that I know works for me. The key thing is just to move your business forward every day, like Brian was saying before. But this is the sort of, you know, these are the actions that I need to take every day. And this is the time that I can do it in, because A, I've got the time, and B, it's my best time for doing certain actions.
Yeah, beautiful. So here's another question that came in. What was that aha moment for you guys when you really got the realization that this thing works? Like, what was that moment where you're like, you know what, this works, let me just do more? Brian's kind of smiling up there. So maybe
I would say it happened. The aha moment was before I even did anything. Like, I think Ty, you were saying at the it was like a video with Onik that you did before I went to the live event, and it was, you said, like, readers always want to read books. There is no scarcity in the book market. And to me, it was like, whoa, you know, the fact that you're not necessarily competing with other people for books, because there are readers out there who want to devour everything, and they can't stop reading. So to me, it was like, oh, this is like an endless possibility for readers, that they can just never stop reading. And then, so that was my real aha moment. And then, you know, when I got to the point where I actually published, it was that first, you know, the first sale after a couple days of being posted. It was like, okay, if you could sell one book, I can sell infinite amount of books. And but like I said, it was actually before I even published that I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. Just it kind of like what Stephen even said now, like, I didn't even know about the Kindle Unlimited part at the time of that interview, that it's like you get paid for page reads. But I mean, it just blew my mind that people it was just a different way of thinking.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
I have to agree with you, Brian. My first aha moment was before I really got started. It was just hearing the concept of the business model and realizing with this, I don't have to convince anyone that they need what I'm trying to sell them. It's not like a gadget. It's not like, everybody wants a story. Everybody wants to be entertained, and readers are readers, and readers are typically readers for life. They're not gonna, it's not a fad that's gonna die out, right? Yeah. So I don't need to convince them that they're interested, because a reader is a reader. They know they're interested. That part's already looked after. All I need to do is package it in a way that gives them what they're looking for. And it's inexpensive entertainment for people. And I really like that part of it too. That was a big aha moment, because I can feel really good in providing something that has value to people, that is easily accessible.
Very cool. Anyone else want to jump in?
I think very similar. I remember when I was at a particularly tough point before I started in Kindle publishing, and a business had just fallen apart. And I just, I've shared this story with you before, Ty. I just stood at the window when the children were at school, and I said, come on, Caroline, one day you're going to write a book about this. And then I thought, oh, writing a book, that's interesting. I could do that. And then I thought, okay. And then I just parked the idea. And then a little while later, I got a Robert Kiyosaki email through, saw Ty's video, and it was seeing you on that webinar. I thought, okay, well, maybe I can write the books. Maybe I don't write the books. Who knows at this stage? But that looks okay. And I hate selling, so I don't have to actually go and physically sell things to people. I've got this platform.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Amazing content on there. Just got to make sure the content's great and people want it. So you talk a lot about market research on those webinars. So I thought I could do that. I could do this. I like books, I like reading, I like writing, I can do this. And it was just the instant, this is going to work. And also I trusted you, even without knowing you, because it just sounded right. And even when I started and did my own thing for a few months, I still had the same aha, if I can make $100, $5, I can make $10. If I make $10, I can make, so like the others, from the very beginning.
All right. So next question is, if you guys focusing on nonfiction, fiction, a combination? Where are you at?
Nonfiction.
Okay.
I've only done fiction.
Yeah, I'm fiction as well.
Gotcha.
I'm fiction.
All right. So the next question is, this one actually comes from, what kind of content? So this is a two-parter. So how often do you email your list? Because this is a big thing that people have objections with, right? Some people don't want to email their list at all. They say, if I email my list, people are going to unsubscribe. So I'm big on emailing, sometimes a little bit too much. How often do you guys email your list? What type of content do you email your list?
I had a time,
Go ahead,
sorry,
Sue.
Brian. I had a time getting my head around this. I email every day, but I did not always email every day. It took me a while to work up to that. One of them, I felt it was overwhelming for me just to figure out what to do every day in an email. And I think that was just a learning curve for me. So I didn't start emailing every day. I think I started probably 3 days a week. And over time, I worked my way up, and now I email every day.
Very cool.
Same here. So I was emailing 2 or 3 times a week. And I remember when we first chatted, Ty, in March, and you said to me, you might want to email more than that. And so now I email 7 days a week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I say I email once a week. So I haven't even been that consistent.
Me neither.
So,
I should be. I'm not a good example here. Follow what Sue and Caroline are doing.
yeah, what they're doing
But
is
you know
better
what?
than.
I also think it's what your readers and what people on your list become accustomed to.
Yeah.
Right.
And Sue said something really important. Listen, guys, this is not, we have our panel. We've got some beautifully, amazingly talented folks that are up here, but everything is not cookie cutter. So Sue kind of said that. You're going to find your way, right? You'll go through the course and you'll follow it, and then you find your way. If you notice, everyone has different answers. Some people email every single day, right? Some people email once a year. I'm being facetious there, right? But it's totally different.
All right.
That's
right?
nice.
So, yeah. All right, so guys, we're going to ask you guys a couple more questions. This is your chance to get your question answered. Put it into the chat box right now before we let them go. Go ahead, Sue. Or Caroline, someone was trying to.
I was just going to say, no, we finished it. I did struggle with the whole everyday thing at first, and now it's very natural.
Okay, gotcha. What types of content are you guys sending out? Is it all promotional material? Are you sending blurbs? Are you, what do you do? What does that look like?
The bottom of my email always has the promo stuff, like any swaps or promos that I'm doing on BookFunnel. And the top is usually something like, oh, I'm in the middle of this book and it's almost done. I can't wait to share it with you. And then on launch week, it's more like the, hey, this is coming out tomorrow. Because I only do launches once a month, but this is coming out on Monday. I'll send out this coming out on Friday. And then I'm like, it's coming out tomorrow. It came out. I don't know if you saw it. So I actually do up my my amount of emails when a book is released. But typically once a week, it's just a like how far along I am in the writing. I mean, I'm not writing it, but how far along the ghostwriter is in writing the book. It's with the editor now, that kind of thing. And then sometimes I'll put in a picture of my pet dog because they love that.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's almost like running a social media page, really.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Say that again, Zoltan.
I was saying it's almost like running a social media page where you have a few followers and you just put content out to them. And obviously some of that is products, and some of it is personal stuff, because people can relate to that and they love hearing about personal, or sometimes I would ask them questions about how, I don't know, how New Year's Eve was, stuff like that.
That's a really good point, actually, because also one of the things that I do quite a lot of in my newsletters, and I'm sure everyone else does as well, is I get my readers involved. So when I'm putting out a new book or series, I'll ask them to choose the cover, even if I've already chosen which one I'm going to have. I'll ask them to choose the cover and ask them for plot ideas. So I get lots of direct emails every day. Ask them for direct feedback, tell them to email me what they've been up to over the weekend. So I end up getting quite a lot of email responses from those sorts of things. And the other thing is for people that are starting out, and also for those people that are already established. I've put this in the group before, but one of the things that works well as well is sort of to constantly acknowledge my review team, your ARC team, your advanced reader team, and I, or about 2 or 3 times a week, I'll put a couple of sentences in the newsletter, in the email, to ask for reviewers and just say that I've got 3 spaces open or 5 spaces open, but I'm developing a VIP team, and I get lots of extra people coming on to be reviewers as well. So I make it really exclusive. So, yeah.
All right. So we'll close it out with 2 more questions. So this first one comes from Sue H. And she asks, what's the biggest mistake that you guys see newbies making? Like people that are new to this and who haven't hit their stride yet. What would you say is the biggest mistake that you might see them making? Which I think
all of us want to talk at once. Go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, depends on which stage you're in. If you're just starting out, the biggest thing I see is indecision and stalling on your own. And it's basically saying, like, oh, there's all these steps I have to do, and it's like, well, I don't even know what genre to pick. Like, well, pick one. Like, if it fits in the categories, pick one that you can live with. And if you pick the wrong one, you can always change it. So pick it and learn how to do it. I mean, so that's the one that I see the biggest people getting stuck at the very beginning of the whole process.
Completely agree with you, Brian. It's the research paralysis that kind of comes over people, because the landscape is so huge on Amazon, and just make a choice. I change genres and then a subgenre even, because I didn't quite do it right the first time, but I never would have known that had I not gone ahead with my first 2 mistakes.
Yeah, and I changed subgenres too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did 100% agree.
And there's no one action that's going to make or sink your business. So don't be afraid, even if you're not sure about the genre or subgenre, just do it. And by the doing, you'll learn if it was the right move or not. So it's the fear that you have to get it right the first time or all hope is lost. That kind of seems to be like the thought process that a lot of people end up getting stuck in.
You won't know what works for you unless you take action, technically.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
I'd probably add to that one of the mistakes that people sometimes make, and I did the same, is also, you're experimenting anyway at the beginning, but sometimes what people do is they decide on a niche, but then it can be quite easy while you're building to confuse your readers about where you sort of sit. So I have conversations where I say, what is your brand? And it's sort of, sometimes you can make mistakes around brand. An example could be, if we take romance, which is a popular genre that people go into, and someone might be doing a medieval romance, for example, but one set of covers might look like it's steamy romance, and one might look like it's sort of historical. And I sort of say to them, where are you? What do your readers want? Where are you sitting? So we do some work around sort of getting specific and honing in on these are who my readers are, or potentially who the sort of people I'm trying to attract, and this is where I need to be. And I think the biggest thing there is when you do, you might move around and change around a little bit like we did while you're testing, but once you decide on what your brand is and where you are, stick with it and just do more of the same. Don't flit around with lots of different things, like paranormal romance, medieval, erotica, just stick with one. And people get, and I did the same. So people sort of, it's easy just to get quite confused there. And then we end up confusing our readers. So it's that branding as well as the market research, which is so critical.
Anyone else want to jump in? All right. So last question. For the person that's sitting on the fence, right? We've got people from just all walks of life, all backgrounds that's watching this right now, and they're kind of doubting that they can actually do this. You guys are all at ground level. What's one piece of advice? And I'd like to get an answer from each of you. What's one piece of advice that you would give to yourself when you were starting at the very beginning and you kind of doubted that you could do this? Like, what would you go back and say to yourself to hopefully push you along faster, hopefully instill some confidence, hopefully instill some belief? What would that one thing be?
Just do it anyway.
I would say figuring out like your why you're doing this before you even start. Because then it becomes, at that point, it becomes bigger than you, so like if you don't go through it, and make the mistakes along the way, then you're not just letting yourself down, you're letting, others down, people that may depend on you. And it's something that can, it's not only going to change your life, but it's going to change everyone around you. And you can take everyone with you, as you have that success and as you move forward. So I think that's big on just figuring out exactly what your why is and always going back to that.
Very cool.
I think there's another one, perhaps. I think perhaps don't expect yourself to not have doubts or fears. Just do it anyway. And it's okay, because it's okay to have those feelings and be a bit doubtful, fearful. It's fine to have all those negative feelings, but if you take no beep and just go for it anyway, you'll eventually get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this kind of goes back to kind of what I've been saying before theme-wise, but basically I would tell myself that failure is part of the process. That, like, I'm not talking like big gigantic failures, but like little failures are part of the process. You kind of need to, it gets rid of the fear if well, there will be some mistakes you made. It's going to happen and you will learn from them, and that will only make it that much better the next time you do it. I mean, because that's where I get wrapped up in fear is, well, I don't want to fail, right? Like, it's like, I don't want to invest all this time or all this money and fail. And if you flip it around in your head and say, well, the failures are part of the process and they get you to that next level. That's what I would tell myself. The only way to get to the next level is to get insight from the things you did wrong.
Beautiful. Anyone else?
I'd probably say, and Stephen was talking about this in his session before we came on, even if you don't believe in yourself, or I'd say to myself, even if you don't believe in yourself, Caroline, you've got to believe in a proven system and the results you're seeing from other people in the group, like when I was stalking Brian. So it's, what did Stephen say? This just requires your participation. And you can participate in it even if you don't believe in yourself, and so that's a biggie for me. So okay, you doubt yourself and maybe you've had previous failures, but just believe in the system and just participate every day.
Every day.
For me, it's not in retrospect, I would have said X, Y, Z. Why am I using the alphabet so much? Oh my goodness. But I would have said a certain something to myself if I could go back. I did say this to myself, and it was, you have a conversation with yourself, and I just made the decision. And I said, Sue, listen, if you're saying that you're doing this, and that's it, period. No coddling yourself, no allowing fear in the way, no allowing hesitation or question or uncertainty or lack of confidence. Are you going to do it or not? Period. So it was some tough love for myself.
Burn the bridges and were honest with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome, I love it.
Yeah, I kind of had that same approach because I had no doubt coming in.
It's really easy to say that you
this.
want something, right? But are you willing to go through all of those feelings that are challenging? Because that's what they are. They're feelings. That's it.
Right.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we can keep these guys here all night, right? And continue to ask them questions. What were your thoughts? Let them know in the chat box how you appreciate them. Brian, Sue, Caroline, Zoltan, Michael, Nate, thank you. And the little one there, look at that.
Yeah, this is Lila.
Oh,
Hey,
Lila.
What are your last words there? Does she want to say
Wanna
something?
say
She wanted to say something there. You got the
Wanna say
coolest
good luck to
daddy over
everybody?
there ever. You see that?
Good luck.
Hello.
I said good luck to everybody.
good luck. Good luck, everyone. That's a nice thing. Yeah.
Hey, thank you guys. We appreciate you very much. Thanks for the time that you spent with us. Guys, go in, talk to your coaches. If you see your coach here, reach out to them. Let them know how you appreciate them. Let them know how much value you got out of this session. And so this is a brand new session that we've done here today at KCF Live. If you guys like this, let us know and we'll do this in the future. All right? So let us know. Now, secondly, there has still been some people who have not had a chance to book their coaching call because we ran out of time slots earlier. So we have a few more time slots available. So if you have not booked your coaching call, go over to kindlecashflow.com/seminar and book your coaching call right now. So go in, click the red button, book a call. And then when you come back over here, all right, just let us know. Just put booked in the chat box and put the time that you're booked for. Okay, there you go. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you. Let me get my screen up here. All right. What did you guys think of that session? I think that was amazing, right? That was really, really cool. The way that they were able to come in and answer your questions. These are the people that you have access to on a regular basis, right? These are the people that help you to build these successful Kindle publishing businesses. And one of the things that you'll notice is that they're all genuine people, right? They all come from different walks of life. And like you, they all started from ground zero. Whether it's fiction or nonfiction that they're publishing, they all started from ground zero. So I want to ask you a question. In your opinion, what does it take to become successful with Kindle publishing? Put it into the chat box right now. What does it take to become successful with Kindle publishing? After everything that you've heard so far, over the last 2 days, what do you think it takes to become successful with Kindle publishing? Put it into the chat box. Go ahead. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to do so. And I'm actually going to read some of these off here. So let's see. Consistency, confidence, action. What do we got? Do not give up, determination. We've got following the system, follow the process, participation. We have trust the process. All right. We've got start publishing. Yes. Mindset. Yes. Accountability. Absolutely. Focus. All right. Keep them going. Keep them going. I'm going to grab a quick drink of water here. What do you think it takes to become successful with Kindle publishing? All right, taking action, mentorship, sitting at your desk, someone says, singular focus, daily action, an open mind, just doing it. Terry Boyle says, my good friend Terry over there. Tracy, I love your answer. Tracy says, no fear. All right, I love that. No fear. Right? So when it comes to being successful, you guys have the answers there, right? You know what it's about. You know what it takes. Mindset, right? Not having this mindset of lack, but instead having a mindset of abundance. Not having this mindset of lack, but having this mindset of abundance and in all areas possible. Having this mindset of abundance in all areas possible. Let me actually turn my camera back on because I want to talk to you guys. I'm talking about this mindset of abundance when it comes to your content, mindset of abundance when it comes to you believing that you can do this, mindset of abundance when it comes to you having this reader base. Because one of the thoughts that you can have is, who's going to read my stuff, right? Who's going to want to buy my stuff? You get all of these types of things that come in and fake you out, right? There's two types of individuals that are watching right now. Two types of people that are watching right now. Both with dreams of things that they want to be, do, and have. Doesn't matter who you are. Both very capable of making their dreams come true, regardless of age or where you are right now at this moment. And for some of you, those dreams will become a reality. For the rest of them, not achieving your dreams will become a lifelong regret. You'll look back and you'll regret it. Now, what's the difference between these two individuals, right? You've more than likely come to the realization that in order to make your dreams come true, you'll have to put up with some demands, you'll make some sacrifices, you'll learn to give up on making excuses. You'll secretly ask yourself, am I willing to do what's needed to achieve my dreams? This is a question that we ask ourselves, not consciously, right? But we subconsciously ask ourselves these questions. Am I willing, once we realize what it takes, am I willing to do what's needed to achieve my dreams? Some of you will say yes and go on to live the life that you deserve. Others will quietly convince yourselves that your dreams are not worth it. That if it was meant to be, it would happen some other way. Secretly going on living to old age, regretting not ever taking that chance and knowing that you were not willing to meet the demands needed to achieve your dreams. Every single person that's watching this is capable. Do not be that person. Do not be that person. Who remembers yesterday when I said, I just had to make the decision. I had to make the decision that I wanted a change in my life. I didn't know how I was going to do it. The difference between me and you, and the difference between where you're at right now and with this program is you just have to make the decision. You have the process, as Stephen and Caroline and many of our students who were just up here on the panel said. Trust the process. You have the process. Just make the decision. I want to share something with you, a quick clip by the late Jim Rohn here. This piece right here is one of the pieces that I credit with totally opening up my eyes to the possibilities. When I thought that I couldn't do it, when I doubted myself, when I diminished my abilities, I would listen to this over and over and over again. I probably listened to this thing hundreds of times. I want to share it with you. Here, let me change my audio setting really quickly. Give me 1 second and I'm going to share this with you. All right. All right, here we go. Because every once in a while, we need those reminders, right? We need those reminders of what's possible.
Here's what I'm asking you to do. Walk away from the 97%. Don't use their vocabulary. Don't use their excuses. Don't use their method of drift and neglect. Won't even walk around the block for their health. Won't even eat an apple a day. Won't even take the time to refine their philosophy for a better life. Walk away and join the 3%. Guess how many people can retire from the income of their own personal resources when it comes time to retire? Answer, 5%. In America, 5% of the people are independent. 95% are dependent. Take charge of your own retirement. You can multiply it at least by 5. Let the government take care of it. Some company take care of it. You got to divide by 5. I'm asking you, take charge of your own retirement. Take charge of your own life. It happens to be one of the titles of my own cassette program, Take Charge of Your Own Life. That's what we've talked about here all morning. Take charge of your own day. Don't have days like most people have. You'll wind up broke and poor. Pennies, no treasures. Trinkets, no values. Change it all. And it starts as simple as an apple a day. It starts as simple as the first book of your new library. It starts as simple as the first journal that you get, and make the first entry that when people see it will say, this is the beginning of a study of a serious student. They're going to be healthy. They're going to be powerful. They're going to be rich. They're going to have it all. Look, they've committed themselves to a whole new journey. I'm asking you to do that. But what's easy to do is what? Easy not to do. But walk away from the 90%. Walk away from the 97%. Walk away from the 95%. Don't go where they go. Don't do what they do. Don't talk like they talk. Develop you a whole new language. Be part of the few.
Be part of a few. Be part of a few. Listen, what's our mantra here in the group? If it's to be, it's up to me. I want you to type that into the chat box really quickly. If it's to be, it's up to me. I want to see how many people truly believe that. If it's to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. Right? Listen, guys, time is running out. Time is running out. How many people have made the decision last year that they wanted to do something, and here we are months later, a whole year later, and nothing has changed? And the reason why nothing has changed is because you haven't made that decision. You haven't truly made a decision. Time is running out. We'll be here next year celebrating a new year, and unless you do something today, nothing will have changed. Unless you make that decision, the concrete decision to do something today, nothing will have changed. Rich Dad, Poor Dad author, Robert Kiyosaki, who I've had the pleasure of partnering with and doing some really cool things with. He says, the moment you make passive income and portfolio income a part of your life will change. The moment you make passive income and portfolio income a part of your life will change. But it's making that decision. It's making that decision. Warren Buffett, one of the planet's richest men, says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. If you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. So here's why we have the Kindle Cash Flow community. Here's why we do what we do. Our vision is to educate, inform, and create 1,000 millionaires using the passive income generation processes that we've developed. This has changed our lives as well as the lives of many of our students around the planet, and we want to continue to inspire and help other people. By the end of this talk, I'm going to invite you to our Fast Pass Mastermind, the same program that you've heard many of our coaches talk about, you've seen many of our successful students talk about and rave about. And I'm going to invite you to the Fast Pass Mentorship Program so that you can get the support that you need every step of the way. All right? Every step of the way. Now, what's the big picture here? When it comes to literally being able to create a cash flow system that generates income day in and day out, what is it? Here's our roadmap. Here's our roadmap. So as we've talked about over the last 2 days, right? Market research leads to outsourcing or getting your content created. So you go in, this is where you set that foundation. You go in and you really say, well, what am I going to publish that's already in demand? What am I going to publish, fiction and nonfiction? And then how am I going to get my content created? Am I going to write it myself? Am I going to outsource it? And then after that, once you have your content, you go in and you publish it. And then once you publish it, then you start to market it so that you get as many of the 8 billion eyeballs that are on this planet looking at it. The process is simple, right? We break these things down. And as we talked about earlier, how do you accomplish a huge goal? One bite at a time. So we focus on each one of these one at a time until we get you to this level of success that you deserve to be at. Right? So the biggest benefits of being part of these programs are consistent, recurring, reliable cash flow coming in every single day. Every single day. Quick results. It took me a year. It took me an entire year of figuring things out. I didn't have a coaching program. I didn't have a course. I didn't have a community to try to figure this thing out. Having long-term income coming in, plus stability. Remember, I talked about how some of our students have been in this thing for over a decade and still generating royalties. This is a long-term business model. Having access to answers 24/7, 365, right? Having a proven system. We have not just 2 or 3 people, but thousands of successful students. Having the luxury of more time. This is the biggest benefit to this. Having the luxury of more time. Time that you can spend with your children. Time that you can spend with yourself. Time is the one thing that we'll never get back, right, folks? We'll never be able to get more time back, right? So you have 2 paths right now. And this is super doable. And of course, right, if you try to do it on your own, you'll have some errors, you hit some road bumps, might take you a little bit longer, right? Like I said, it took me over a year, 36 months to do this, to get to the point where I was generating $1,000 a day, $1,000 a day while working my job, still working my day job. I would come home after work, try to figure this out. I would stay up late. I would wake up early. I would make mistakes, get frustrated, give up, go back to it. 8 to 12 weeks. That's how long it takes our most dedicated students to hit that $1,000 a day mark when they could get nothing else to work for them. 8 to 12 weeks. There's a difference when you have a coach. There's a difference when you have people that have already been there. The biggest challenges of trying to do this on your own are knowing exactly what to do step by step, right? Knowing what to do, trying to figure it out. It's one of the biggest challenges here. Knowing the secrets to generating massive amounts of buyers and sales, right? There's things that we do that you don't know what to do. Knowing which genres, which categories, and which topics to start with instead of guessing. Not being able to stay focused, suffering from shiny object syndrome, right? I guarantee you, if you haven't seen the success that you're after right now, it's probably because you have shiny object syndrome and you're bouncing all over the place. Having a scarcity mindset. This is a big one here that plagues so many different people. Having the scarcity mindset, thinking, well, I'm a writer, I'm an author, I don't want to outsource. You don't have to outsource if you're a writer or you're an author. If you're not a writer or an author, you could still do it, right? So not having that scarcity mindset, having access to mentors in a community who are doing it correctly and who want to share with others exactly what you are doing and how they're doing it in the right way. If you look at our coaches, right, these guys are at a level that they were able to achieve, and now they're here sharing. They're sharing with you, right? So having access to a community where you can go in, you can ask these questions, you can ask high-level questions, you can take part in our Q&A sessions. And part of the benefit of having access is you may be thinking about doing this on your own, but with what we've given you so far, you can do it, but it might take you forever and you're going to hit all of those roadblocks, right? Roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Our most successful students get help from us and immediately get past every single one of these roadblocks quickly because they can reach out to a coach and say, hey, here's where I'm stuck. How do I get past this thing? Our students that get help from us immediately get going and they see the results that they're after because they have consistent hand-holding every step of the way. Those that get help from us understand the value of speed and its role in getting them to where they want to be quickly and with the confidence that they are doing it right. Right? So being able to follow along in the footsteps of people who have already done the same thing that you're trying to accomplish is one of the fastest paths to success. So if you look at Brian, who was up here, right? This was earlier, and Brian was like, hey, May, he was at $1,457.94. This is in May. And in July, he says, I'm at $18,704.06. That's a huge leap. Do you think Brian knows a few things? Absolutely. Absolutely. He posted that in a Facebook group, right? So we have these things coming in all the time from people who are in this Fast Pass group and who have taken it to the next level. hundreds of dollars coming in hour after hour after hour, because they now have a system that gets them to where they want to be much faster. It's like going to Disney World and buying a fast pass ticket so that you can cut the line and you can get these quicker results. So if you're uncertain or stuck on any part of what we have shared with you so far, we have something that will make it totally clear and easy for you to succeed at a massive level, not just at a small level. Sometimes people will come in and they're like, hey, Ty, well, I just need a little bit. I don't need 10,000 a month. I don't need 20,000 a month. That's fine, but hey, 500 bucks a month, $1,000 a month will change, right? Will change things for you. All right? So we have our KCF Fast Pass Mastermind here. I'm going to turn my video back on so I can speak to you guys directly here. All right? I had it off because I want you to just pay attention to my slides. That's it. Not get distracted. So you're going to be able to identify highly profitable markets and model their success for our KCF Fast Pass Mastermind. You'll be able to publish your books in different formats. So Kindle, paperback, audiobooks, all of this you'll be able to understand. You'll have an army of loyal readers who want to read your book. You'll be shown how to build brand awareness around your books. You'll learn how to market your books for constant sales. You'll be able to create multiple streams of income. Remember when I spoke about this earlier, where each book that you publish becomes a new stream of income? Have you ever thought about that, guys? Every single book that you publish becomes another stream of income because it's bringing in sales. You'll understand exactly how to create passive recurring income, cash flow that comes in day after day after day. All right? Day after day after day. As Brian mentioned earlier, he got to start at KCF Live 2019. Now look at where he's at. I think he said he's at like 500,000 in royalties so far. 500,000 in royalties, not in sales, in royalties. So how does something like that change things for you? Think about that. In the chat box right now, how would it change? And I'm not saying how would having access to 500,000 in royalties change things for you. I want to say, how would having an extra $1,000 a month change things for you? How would having an extra $5,000 a month change things for you? How would having an extra $500 a month change things for you? How about having an extra 10,000? Put it in the chat box right now. How would, and we're being totally honest, totally transparent, no judgment. How would that change things for you? Again, I want you to go back to using your imagination. Some of us have gotten so stuck, right? We've gotten past when we were a kid and we were never afraid of imagining. We would go in and we would do whatever it is that we wanted to do. And then as we got older, we stopped imagining. I want you to go back and imagine right now. Don't be realistic. Don't say that's never going to happen. It's not happening now. I want you to just dream for a second. I'm giving you permission. What would your life look like if you hit your magic number per month? I don't know what your number is. Only you know what that number is. It could be $500 a month. It could be $5,000 a month. It could be $50,000 a month. You know what that number is, but just dream right now and share with the community, share in the chat box what that would look like for you. And more importantly, how would it look for other people? How would it look for other people? Your children, yourself, your loved ones, charities that you're passionate about, maybe your church, maybe other organizations, maybe people that are in the community, maybe even total strangers that you don't even know. How can you impact their life? Right? If you got to the point where, like some of our students, here's Samuel A. Many of you guys know Samuel. I did a video with him, right? Samuel went from these levels actually, remember Samuel, I did a video with him and he had gotten he did some things that he wasn't supposed to do, some things that we don't teach in the Kindle publishing course. He got his account terminated and then he came back and he grew it bigger and better. So we went from $500 a month to $700 a month to $1,200 a month. And he just posted his most recent royalties a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, right? How would that change things for you? Think about that. How about if Nate here, who you just spoke to earlier, you saw him on the panel. This is an old shot. And even in this old shot, you saw where Nate is just crushing it right now, right? He's got his platinum plaque, $20,000 a month. But at this point, he was at $15,000 a month. How would this change things for you? I want you to dream. Go ahead. I want you to imagine. Even if you think this is a number that's past your capabilities, how would having an extra $15,000 a month change things for you? How does it change things for you? Here's Caroline here, right? So Caroline, this is when before she was the Caroline that she is right now, 6,000 a month, 6,600. How would this change things for you? Right? Seth couldn't be with us today. He was going to be here with us. $60,000 in 60 days. What would you do with this? You'd put some back into your business, obviously, right? Hopefully. You would put some into investments, and then you would put some into living. But I'm curious, what would you do? Let's take a look at the chat box really quickly. Reinvest in my business, says Michael. Retirement and freedom, says the other Michael. I'd grow 2 feet taller, says Craig. Help women worldwide, says Tracy. Pay off our house, put money in savings, says Jill. Right? Travel the country on a book tour from July through now, says Dan, I think. Fro, pay off mortgage, spread the news to each person's worthy identity. Retire my husband, says Melinda. Buy grandkids a house, says Karma. Dream, folks. I want you to dream. Dream. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, we've helped thousands of people. You heard Brian, he said that he got his start at one of our KCF live events. He was somewhere here. If we were able to zoom in, you would probably see Brian somewhere. This is me here. We've trained well over 100,000 people on how to make money online using Kindle Cash Flow, using the Kindle Cash Flow methods. Over 10,000 people have used this program to change their family's life. We have hundreds, literally thousands of testimonials, all right? Lots of our Kindle Cash Flow students up here. You might even see yourself up here in some of these pictures here. People from across the planet, all walks of life, have used this system here to get to the next level. The major difference between these people and you are they got focused, they made the decision. Commitment is the number one reason why you're not where you deserve to be. Right? You're stuck in a habit of lack. So that's why we talk about mindset. That's why we talk about abundance, because most people do not hear this stuff on a regular basis. And it's important for you to hear it over and over and over again. Would you agree? Being totally honest, would you agree that it's important to hear it over and over and over again so that you get renewed and re-energized to the possibilities? So when you change your thinking from I don't have to I will, something happens. Without worrying about what's going to happen in between. From I don't have to I will, something happens. And then most importantly, accepting personal responsibility. Like regardless of my wife, regardless of my husband, regardless of what my family thinks, regardless of what society thinks, if it is to be, it's up to me. If it's to be, it's up to me. Doesn't get any simpler than that. Do you have a difference between the folks that you saw in those previous photos is that they didn't allow themselves to miss out on another opportunity, on another year. They did not, they refused. They said, okay, the line stops here. I think when we had the panel here, one of our panel members said that. He said, you know what? Actually, a few of them actually chimed in. They said, you know what? This is where it stops. I'm sick and tired. Sometimes you have to be sick and tired of being sick and tired. You have to say, this is where it stops. And I'm going to do something right now. This is the best time to do something. We're in a new year, guys. If not now, when? If not now, when? You're literally one decision away from living a totally different life. One decision away, right? One decision away. So let me ask you a question here. And this is a test. This is a test. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be upfront. This is a test. Would it make sense to invest $20,000 to potentially make $96,000 $216.12 a year. Put it into the chat box. Just give me a yes or a no. And the reason why I say this is a test is because what happens automatically is you start to think of all of the buts, right? I don't care who you are. Automatically you start, yeah, but if I could, well, I don't. That's how the mind works. Instead of being able to simply type in yes or no instantly, but how many people had that happen to them just now? No, but if I didn't have it, if I could afford it, how many people just had all of these objections flood their mind just now? Instead of just simply flowing and saying yes or no. Let's be honest. Be honest right now. If you had a bunch of objections come in when I asked you this question, would it make sense to invest $20,000 to potentially make $96,216.12 a year? Did you have all of these things, all of this stuff that came into place instead of just simply going into the chat box and typing yes or no? That's how the mind works, guys. And until you recognize that, nothing will change. Until you become sensitive of all of the things that are happening internally, your external will never change. Does that make sense? Give me a yes in the chat box if that makes sense. Until you become conscious of all the things that are happening internally in here on autopilot. Like I asked you this question and you had all types of things that were coming up. Even if you didn't put it into the chat box, it came up, right? So until you change things internally, your external will never change. It can't. It's impossible to. It absolutely can't. Do you agree? Yes or no? Do you agree? Let's try it again. Yes or no? So now I want to try another exercise here. And before I do that, I want to explain this scenario here too. So on the screen, we've got Marianne. So Marianne is a bookkeeper, right? So she's a bookkeeper over in the UK. And Marianne is in the Fast Pass program. As you can see, she's in the KCF Fast Pass coaching program. Let's read this together. She says, okay, I've got 1 week until the end of a month. I'm on $8,000, meaning she's generating $8,000 a month in royalties, right? Do you guys all see this? My target is $10,000 a month. Why does she want to get to $10,000 a month? Does anyone know? Why is she desperately, I mean, she's at 8,000, that's pretty cool, right? And royalties, that's what she keeps. Why does she want to get to 8,000? Who wants to guess? Who wants to guess? Yes, she wanted to get one of these gold plaques here. How many people would love one of these bad boys here? Right, to get the gold plaque. So she goes in, I'm gonna sit that here on my chair, hopefully it doesn't fall. She goes into the Fast Pass group and she says, I need to get the plaque. Any tips from the experts? She spelled experts wrong. So look, you don't even have to be a professional speller to do well with Kindle publishing. I'm terrible with spelling. Any tips from the experts on how I can get to get an extra $2,000 in sales in 1 week? And then she goes in and she tags Marty, Josh, she tags Seth Taylor, she tags Nate Mascari, Michael Joshua, anybody that can help. Take a look at this. So almost instantly, she gets a ton of answers. People are coming in, they're flooding into the community. Here, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this. Boom. This is why it's so important to have a community. Because not only did she get one answer, but she got multiple answers, right? She got multiple answers to the point that she ended up hitting it and getting her plaque. She ended up getting that plaque because she's part of this community where she doesn't walk alone if she comes into a problem. She can go in and say, hey, how can I do this? Is that invaluable? Yes or no? If you have a problem, or you're trying to get to the next level, being able to go into a community and ask a question and having dozens of people come in and chime in, people that have been there before, people who are much higher than you, people who are just starting out, right? That's what the KCF Fast Pass community is about. And now let's say if she was still just at this level. Now she's past that, right? She's got the plaque. Obviously, she's making more than $10,000 a month. But let's say if she was still at the $8,018.01 a year, or a month, I'm sorry, and we multiply that times 12, that's $96,216 a year. Is that right? Is that right? 12 times $8,018.01, $96,216.12, right? Now I want to ask you a question again. And I want to show you something here. Would it make sense to invest $20,000 to learn how to make $96,000 a year and have freedom of finances and freedom of time? Put it into the chat box. Would it make sense to invest $20,000 to potentially, right, to learn how to make $96,216.12 a year? Now, let me ask you a question. And yes, as Sue just said, this is one time. The $20,000 is a one time, right? You pay it, but this is yearly. This is annual, and it grows, right? So Sue, you pointed that out. So now here's the thing. When I asked you this question the second time, did those objections that came in the first time come into play? I know the answer, but let me know in the chat box. Did you get all of the objections where it was like, well, if I could, if I knew, and if I did it, and everything else? Did all of those things flood your mind this time around? No, of course not. Look at the chat box, guys. Look at what they're putting in. No, of course not. Isn't that amazing? It's because now you're aware of it. You're aware of it now. Once expanded, the mind can never contract. That's how life is. There's so many things that you're not aware of that are blocking you from your year of the paper, that are blocking you from your abundance. There's so many things that happen on autopilot in this thing here, in this hat rack, that happens on autopilot that's stopping you from living the life that you deserve to live. And I'm not just talking about money here. From living the life that you deserve to live, from publishing your book, from building your business, from traveling the planet, from having total freedom, financially and time-wise. So many different things. Every single day you get asked questions. And just like when I first asked you the question of, would it make sense to invest $20,000 to make $96,216.12 a year? Just like when I first initially asked you that question, all types of objections flooded in. And you weren't even conscious of them until I brought it to your attention, right? We're being honest, come on. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just trying to show you how the mind works. Be honest, were you conscious of them or not until I brought it to your attention? Let me know in the chat box. Absolutely not, right? And then once I brought it to your attention, you realize, man, I've got all of these things that are definitely controlling me. Like, that's how the mind works. It's a protective mechanism. It doesn't want you to get hurt. It's just like the mom or the dad who you'll tell your big dreams to, and they're like, yeah, you know what? You might be able to do it, but and until we become aware, and this awareness takes practice. It is a daily exercise that you have to work on. Having that level of awareness whenever you're trying to do something, saying, man, like thinking and recognizing all of the things that will come in to try to stop you, that will try to prevent you from moving forward. And until you're aware of it, it continues to run in the background for days weeks, months, years, decades, and for some people, an entire lifetime. And they never realize why they're never able to push forward. And I say potentially, Derek, because are you guys, answer this question in the chat box. Are you limited to potentially just 96,000? Does it have to just be 8,000? Think about that. That's why I put potentially up here. Are all of our students capped out at that would be really weird, right? Capped out at $8,000, $18.01? Absolutely. And Derek, so these are the things, right? So we have to watch how the mind plays with us. We have to watch it. Question everything. Everything. Question everything that you think. When you start to question everything that you think, you will become unstoppable. When my doctor told me that I'd never be able to use my right arm again, imagine if I never questioned him. My arm was stuck in a position like this due to sickle cell anemia. It was stuck in a position like this for about a month. If I didn't have a mom, I was maybe 17 or 18 years old, who said, you know what? The doctor's smart, but the doctor's not God. If I didn't have a mom who simply said that, the doctor's smart, but the doctor's not God, I would have never questioned what he said, right? And I would be speaking to you right now like this, because that's the position that my arm was stuck in. I couldn't move it up or down due to necrosis. They call it necrosis. It's something that sickle cell anemia causes. It causes this brittleness in your bones and fragmentation in your bones. Just by me questioning, man, maybe I could. Me working on it every single day. Before you know it, I'm boom, boom, boom. When they said I would never be able to do it again. Come on, guys, please start questioning your limitations. Start questioning what it is that you believe you can't do or what you're capped at doing. Just like this $8,018.01, you're not capped at that. You're not capped at anything. You're not capped. So I want to give you access to something that's going to be so life-changing that you have to sign a confidentiality document, promising that you're not going to share it. You promise? I'm going to make you sign a confidentiality document, promising that you will not share what I'm going to give you access to, what we're going to give you access to. Because we don't want this falling into just anyone's hands. We want this falling into the hands of the seriously committed, the people who have made a decision right now that they are going to take their life to the next level. They're going to take their thing, whatever that thing is that they want to do, and use Kindle Publishing as the vehicle to drive them there. You see how that works? Doesn't matter what it is that you want to do. You want to learn how to become a pilot. You want to buy a better house. You want to build a community. You want to go in and save the cats. You have to find something that's going to be the vehicle to help you to get there. And let Kindle Publishing be the vehicle. Let Kindle Publishing be the vehicle that brings in that cash flow, that passive income, that gives you the freedom of time to go in and do other things. All right? I'm going to give you VIP access to elite digital publishing experts. So you'll get live Q&A sessions with myself, Josh, and Marty, plus special guests, right? We talked about Stephen Pierce being a special guest. We talked about Michelle, right? The Kindle Vella publishing expert being a special guest. 2 times a month. The value in this is $3,697. You're going to get exclusive private Facebook group access to the KCF Fast Pass Facebook group, where you'll get access to world-class Kindle publishing experts. This is valued at $2,497. You'll get to learn insider secrets. Inside this group, you'll be coached by Josh and Marty on an ongoing basis, including all of our other coaches as well, on niche-specific topics such as email list building, brand building, email marketing, finding and outsourcing ghostwriters, and so much more, right? You'll get to accelerate your success. You'll understand how to take your self-publishing business to the next level inside of this premium coaching group. You'll get the self-publishing toolbox with bonus resources, exclusive tools and resources that are backed by industry-leading experts. This is valued at $3,497. So you'll get to unlock the path to success. You get an entire toolbox built around your self-publishing business so that you do not have to search and wonder what does and what doesn't work. You'll get to save your time and money so that you're not wasting your time on research, because we've already done the testing and experimenting for you. So you already know what the most profitable niches are. The total program value is over $9,600 here. Plus, you're going to get the following 3 huge bonuses. You'll get bonus number 1, which is the accelerated training videos that help skyrocket your success even further. This is valued at $3,497. You'll get the insider secrets. Every month, you're going to receive 2 niche-specific trainings on a variation of topics surrounding the self-publishing niche. You'll never go at it alone. You get specially engineered training that will take you from a complete beginner to passive income generating Kindle publishing expert in no time. All right. You'll get to fast track your business quickly, learning the tactics that you need to really take your business to the next level. You'll get bonus number 2. This is our self-publishing talk training, where you'll get to learn the successful habits needed to build your 6- and 7-figure publishing empire. This is valued at $4,497. In this series, we reveal and give you everything from self-publishing your ebooks to staying motivated, highly motivated, and super confident as a publisher. You'll get insider hacks and strategies to ensure your success and your sales. You'll get bonus number 3, which is valued at $2,997. This is an exclusive piece of new content and videos that are added regularly so that you're always up to date on what works, right? You'll always have information that you can put into action. You'll know what those actions are, and you'll know how and when to implement them. You'll be able to follow our exact steps and take your business to that next level. And then here's an extra special bonus that we just threw in. If you're not sure what genre to start with, this bonus, which is valued at $1,997, is where my team and I, we've handpicked and put together a list of the top money-making genres for you to publish to. So once you become a member of a FastPass Mastermind or a mentorship, you'll get access to this list. It's going to be hand-delivered to you on a silver platter, right? Not literally, of course. You'll totally eliminate the need to think about where do you start first, because we've done the hard work of research for you. So total bonus value is over $12,897. Now, you'll get our fully customized roadmap. Now, this is a first movers only exclusive here, all right? So for people that take action on this live session right now, this is valued at $4,997. This is our Money, Love, Speed bonus. You'll get a fully customized roadmap where you get a complete step-by-step layout that removes all of the guesswork, that walks you through every step of your journey. So when you start right now, you're going to get our fully customized roadmap delivered to you in 1 week. So next Friday, we're going to hold a special roadmap training session. This is like having a GPS to guide you every step of the way. So this is our roadmap. This is going to take place next Friday. We're going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to lay out a specially customized roadmap for you to get started and get the results that you're after. All right. This is valued at $5,000, as I said. Now, I want to ask you a question. Imagine hanging one of these on your wall. Who would be the most proud of your success? Who's that person that may be skeptical? Or who's the person that's not skeptical? They're your supporter, right? They know that you can do this. Who would be proud of seeing you have one of these plaques on your wall, right? Or even one of these plaques, like the one here that you've seen some of our students have. These new ones here, right? Who would be most proud of you? A plaque with your name signifying that you hit 10,000 hours a month. Think about that, right? How awesome would that be? Or how about one of these plaques, a platinum plaque that signifies that you've hit the $20,000 a month level? Who would be the most proud of you? Sing this thing on your wall, sing it in your office, your bedroom, your living room, wherever it is, that special place that you have, right? And then walking in, imagine that conversation. I want you to go back to using your imagination right now, right? Let's look at this one. Go back to using your imagination. Imagine having this on the wall. This is Michael Lee Joshua's plaque here, our children's book publisher. Before Michael actually even got this plaque, what do you think he had to do? He had to imagine having it. I want you to imagine having this plaque on your wall and someone coming into your home and asking you, what is that? And you explaining that that's how visualization, that's how the imagination, that's how manifestation, manifesting anything starts with imagining it. Imagine having one of these on your wall and someone coming in and asking you, what is that? And you answering, this is a plaque that I received from Kindle Cashflow because I hit the $10,000 a month level, or because I generate over $20,000 in royalties every month. Doesn't cost you anything to imagine, folks. Don't let those imaginary objections come into place, because they will come into play. They will come into play. I can't do this. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm too this. I'm too that. All types of things, just like when I asked you the other question before. Here I am in my living room, right? We're about to ship out a ton of plaques. Imagine having one of these shipped out to you with your name on it. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Watch the objections. All right? Total package value is $27,497. So here's what you get. Now, VIP access to elite digital publishing experts, exclusive private Facebook group, a self-publishing toolbox with bonus resources, right? So you'll get all of these here. Total program value over $9,600, plus you're gonna get the 3 bonuses that I talked about, the accelerated training videos, which are valued at $3,497. You get the 6- and 7-figure self-publishing talk training series, which is valued at $4,497. You get the exclusive new content and videos, which are valued at $2,997. So the total bonus value is $10,900. Now, you also have the option to upgrade to our KCF FastPass mentorship, right? Our KCF FastPass mentorship. So when you upgrade here, you'll also receive a certified coach, which is valued at $14,997. So you get these 7 one-on-one calls with a Kindle Cashflow certified coach. 7 calls where you'll be able to get on with your coach and have them walk you through whatever it is that you need help with. This is invaluable. So you get these 7 one-on-one calls. We wanted to kind of remove every obstacle and practically guarantee you success. That's why we're giving you 7 one-on-one calls with a Kindle Cashflow certified coach. Perfect for the person that procrastinates. All right? Let's be honest with ourselves. If we know that we have shiny object syndrome, and this appeal source, we're sticking to this right now. This is our vehicle for this year that's going to get us to where we want to be. If we know that we procrastinate, this is the option that we need. We need to join the mentorship so that we get these 7 one-on-one calls, and it'll keep us accountable. So these calls are designed to work side by side with you and your business. You get every question answered and know exactly what to do. You'll be talking directly with a Kindle publishing expert who has grown their own business so that you can get to that level of growing yours. All right? And then when you pay in full, you'll get a total of 10 bonuses. So you'll get 3 additional bonus calls when you pay in full for the mentorship. All right? So there's no amount of value that can be placed on this. No amount of value that can be placed on this. So you'll also get a strategy session with the masters. You'll get the opportunity to submit your top 3 questions to a round table of our most successful students and have them answer those questions for you on video so that you can review and implement their strategies for going straight to the top of Kindle publishing. Each student will answer your questions in the way that they feel will get you the biggest and quickest results. So you'll never be able to assemble this quality of collective in one area on your own. All right. Now, you'll get that fully customized roadmap that I said was a first movers only bonus, which is valued at $4,997. So this will be your complete step-by-step roadmap that helps you. And we're going to have this roadmap next week. So you'll get this next Friday, we kick this thing off. All right. So the total value of the KCF FastPass mentorship is $40,500. You're not going to pay anywhere near that. We've got a couple of payment plans and options for you. So you've got a few here, right? So the first is one payment of $18,000 paid in full. This is our best option. This is what most people take here. One payment of $18,000 paid in full. Our second option is two payments of $9,497. So you'll make your first payment today, and then your second payment 30 days from now in the amount of $9,497. The third option that we have is 5 payments of $3,797. So you'll make your first payment of $3,797 today, and then every 30 days, another payment of $3,797, right? Now, it doesn't stop there. We also have payment option number 4, which is 7 payments of $2,797. So again, you'll make that first payment today, and then 30 days from now, you'll make subsequent payments of $2,797. We also have additional payment options as well. If you want to see those, you can go over and speak to your coach, reach out to your coach. They'll be able to help you out there. All right. So now let's take a look at the FastPass Mastermind, which is that lower level there. That's right below the mentorship. This is valued at $27,497. All right. But you're not going to pay that, of course. We've got payment options for this one as well. So option number 1, $15,000 paid in full. Now with the Mastermind, the only difference is you do not get the 7 coaching calls. You do not get those 7 coaching calls, over 10 calls if you pay in full, right? And this is $15,000 paid in full. This is the option that most people make. You have option number 2, which are 2 payments of $7,997. One payment today, one payment 30 days from now. You have option number 3, which are 3 payments of $5,497. Your first payment today, and then your subsequent payments 30 days apart from one another. And then option number 4, 12 payments of $1,497. And for the Mastermind, just like with the mentorship, we have additional payment options as well. If you don't see something that works for you here, you can reach out to your coach and they'll be able to help you out. All right, they'll be able to get you in. So now we're limiting this to just a few people. So now I'm going to give you a link that you can go to. You can go in, you can place your order using that link, or you can talk to your coach. You can schedule another call with your coach. And if you have questions, ask your coach questions. Your coach will be able to help facilitate you getting into the program, right? But here's the thing, folks. We are limiting this because we only have a certain number of coaches. And of course, they are limited in time. So if you go over to the link that I'm giving you, or if you wait too long and it's sold out, it's totally too late. We always cap the number of people that we allow into these programs. And this will be no different, right? So here's the other thing. If you're an existing FastPass Mastermind member and you'd like to upgrade to the mentorship, you can talk to your coach as well. We have options for you. If you're an existing Mastermind member and you want to upgrade to the mentorship, talk to your coach. We have options for you as well. All right, so now here's the thing. Due to confidentiality, once I give you this link, you go in, you place your order, or once you talk to your coach, you place your order, right? You're going to be able to get access to the program after you sign your confidentiality document, right? So we have a confidentiality document that we're going to send out to you. This is going to be the very first email that you receive. So you're going to look for your email, and in the subject line, it should say, welcome to the FastPass. You're going to open this first, and then you'll electronically sign it. Follow instructions in that email. And if you don't see it in your inbox, which it should be in, you check your spam folder, right? It'll say, welcome to the FastPass. This is after you place your order, either online, once I give you the link in the next couple of seconds, or if you place it with your coach. Sign off on that confidentiality document, and then we let you in to the program. So the confidentiality document really talks about everything that you'll get. And speaking of talking about everything that you'll get, let's take a look at, before I give you this link here, I want to take a look at this video from Michael Joshua, who is one of our gold plaque winners, all right, at 10,000 a month.
So here we go. And Ty, I was able to get this from the mail from you, and I hadn't opened it yet, so just want to show you. Sweet. And I have a spot right up there on my wall in between my bookcases for it, and really happy to get this. Thanks, man.
So he's got it on his wall here. Very cool. So Michael Joshua publishes children's books, smart guy, extremely smart individual. So he started just where you're at, right? Started just where you're at. Now let's take a look at his Caroline trainer, right? Over in the UK. She's got her gold plaque, 10,000 a month, right? Here's Nate Mascari. He blew past generating 10,000 a month in royalties and went straight to 20,000 a month. Let's take a look at his video.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Nate Mascari, and I just got an interesting package in the mail that I wanted to open up and share with you guys. You ready, buddy?
Yes.
This is my son, Levi. Oh, cool. All right. We just got the platinum plaque. Or is this platinum? Silver? What color is that? Silver. Silver. Silver plaque for hitting 20,000 a month with Kindle Publishing. And it says, congrats on earning a spot in the Kindle Cash Flow Hall of Fame $20,000 a month club. Stay focused, year of the paper, and if it's to be, it's up to me. See, if I can do it, you guys can do it. Good luck.
Look at this kid. This kid is the cutest thing ever, right? So there you go. Let's look at Sue White up in Canada. Also hit the gold $10,000 a month plaque status. All right. Here's Michael Lopez. Just received his gold plaque for earning $10,000 a month. Let's take a look at his video as well.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Just got this package here in the mail. I have a good idea of what it is here, but I'm going to open it up to show y'all what I just received from Kindle Cash Flow. Here. There we go. This is what I received from Kindle Cash Flow for having a 10K month last month. My first 10K month. Started back in September. Joined the Kindle Cash Flow Fast Pass, and it's been great since. Steady building every month. Couldn't have did it without you guys. So I appreciate this. This means a lot. I'm gonna hang it on my wall, right up over here. You can't see it, but it's gonna look real nice. I appreciate you guys a lot. Ty, Josh, Marty, the whole Kindle Cash Flow team. Thank you for this, man. I appreciate it.
Very cool. Very, very cool there. Mike's one of my favorite people there. Here's Marianne again, right? Over in the UK, also received the gold plaque for generating over 10,000 a month in royalties for her book sales. Listen, guys, we have people from all over the place. Here's Seth, 60,000 in royalties for himself in just 60 days. Let's take a look at Seth's video.
What's up, guys? Just got a package in the mail. Has a return address of Kindle Cash Flow. So I have a pretty good idea. I know what it is. So I'm gonna open it up, check it out. Okay. Okay. Look at that, girl. Look at this. Just about to open this girl up. It smells clean. Ooh. Cut it more. He's not ready. Ooh. Dang. It says, congrats on earning a spot in the Kindle Cash Flow Hall of Fame, $20,000 a month club, Seth Taylor. Hashtag stay focused, hashtag you're the paper, and make Amazon pay for everything. So this is for $20,000 a month. Pretty sweet, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you, Ty. Appreciate you, Josh and Marty. Thanks for everything. You know, we'll probably hit 30,000 this month, but hopefully we can get up to 50 here in the next few months. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. It's going on one of these walls. It's a brand new little office here, so I don't have anything on the walls yet. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye.
Very cool. Seth is actually, he wanted to be with us. He's on a fishing trip today with his family, right? So this is the freedom. This is what we're talking about. This is why we do this. Seth's living his dream right now in a fishing tournament, right? So here's Brian, our one and only Brian, Coach Brian, receiving his award for generating over $20,000 a month in royalties for himself. I'm showing you guys these videos because I want you to picture yourself getting your plaque and opening your box up. As you're watching these videos, imagine yourself doing this.
All right, just got this in the mail. This is the thing from the Kindle Cash Flow. So it's really cool. It's a platinum, like a platinum record. It says congratulations on your spot in the Cash Flow Hall of Fame 20,000. Got my name on it. Ty, this is a really awesome gift. Thank you so much. I hope to keep it up and keep going further and further. 50,000 is next. All right, thank you.
Very cool. Let's see what else we got. Anything else here? Here's Peter A, the 19-year-old, right? He's 20 now. I keep calling him 19-year-old. He set a massive goal. Goal setting we talked about is an important part of his process. He set a massive goal to receive both a gold and a platinum plaque. He actually drew this picture out in his home. He said, Ty, this is where my platinum plaque is going. This is where my gold plaque is going to be. This is where my platinum plaque is going to be. And then he actually achieved those goals. And take a look at this. Take a look at that. Let's look at a video from Peter. Peter publishes content around nonfiction content, right? Around the subject of public speaking. Let me go back here. Let's watch this video.
Hello, Ty. Thank you so much for
And he's at $34,000 a month in this video. Take a look at this. Oh, wait, let me go back here. $34,000 a month. me get back here. I just lost it.
Hello, Ty. Thank you so much for everything you've done for the Kindle community. It's been miraculously helpful and everyone appreciates it. And here, I'll make 2 recordings here for when I first broke $10,000 in profit, and then when I broke $20,000 in profit. Yeah, I mean, this whole process has changed my life, and so I'm very grateful. So first, let's go to the ADP.
So he's logging into his Kindle Direct Publishing account, showing his earnings
Then
report.
we'll look in February. I first broke towards the end of the month. Here, first broke 10,000. Roughly 11,000 profit in that month.
11,315.
In this recent month, 30,000. Plus all these other currencies, which probably make it 31,000. On a day recently, I sold almost 200 books. So yeah, that's just wonderful, and I'm grateful, very grateful. So yeah, there it is. And I'll send you a picture on my wall of where I plan to put the $10,000 and $20,000 plaques. It'll be great to show my family and my grandparents and everyone. So thank you so much.
What are your thoughts on this? I mean, isn't that beautiful? That's inspiring right there to see someone really taking this thing by the horns. And here's Peter's 2 plaques here, right? What are your thoughts on that? Put that in the chat box there. Super inspiring, right? Imagine hanging one of these on your wall. Gold plaque, platinum plaque. Which one would you love to have? Right? Imagine hanging one of these on your wall here. This is what it's about, folks. How would it feel to have your name and your photo in the Kindle Cashflow Hall of Fame for generating over 10,000 or 20,000 a month in royalties? Think about that. Seeing your name here. Now, here's the next step. Here's the next step. The next step is I want you to go to the event hub, which is at kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You're going to see a golden button there. kindlecashflow.com/seminar. Coach Sandy still just put it into the chat box there. Click on that link, or in your browser, you can type in kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You'll see a golden button. You'll click on that golden button. Then you choose the program and payment plan that's right for you. You register for that program, and then you're in. You sign off on a confidentiality document. That's going to be one of the first emails that you receive, and then you get access to everything else. And welcome to the program. Now, if you have any questions or for additional payment options, have a follow-up conversation. Schedule a follow-up call with your coach so that they can get you in. All right. So now I'm going to show you what this looks like when we go over to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. Let's do that really quickly. I'm going to pause my screen for a second. So I'm over here. If you have that window open, right, let me just stop my share and restart it. You'll go over to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. It's going to look like this. You may not see the golden button initially, especially if you had the window open already. You just have to refresh, and then you'll see it up here. You refresh, and you'll click this button that says, I'm all in for KCF FastPass Mastermind and Mentorship Coaching. You'll click that, and it'll give you 2 options. You'll see some videos here from some of our students. You can choose the Kindle Cashflow Mastermind, or you can go straight to the top, which I suggest you do. Get our mentorship program, our flagship program, the KCF FastPass Mentorship. And I'll walk you through each of these. Right? Let's start with the mentorship. If you want to get in on the mentorship, and the mentorship is the program that comes with 7 one-on-one calls with a coach. Or if you pay in full, you choose this option here, you'll get 10 one-on-one calls with a coach. You get 3 additional calls. So you'll go in here, you simply click whichever payment option is for you. And this kind of covers everything that I covered just now, right? That's in the program. You'll choose the payment option that's for you, either full pay, or if you want to make 2 payments of $9,497, you'll come over here, you'll click this button. If you want to make 5 payments of $3,797, you'll come over here and you'll click this part, all right? So your first payment, if you're on a payment plan, is going to come out today. And then your second payment will come out 30 days from today. Now, if you see that you need a different type of a payment option, reach out to your coach, speak to your coach, and they'll be able to get you in. I'm going to enlarge this a little bit so you guys can clearly see it, right? Now, you want to go in, you choose your payment option, get in. And this is for the mentorship here. Now, let's say if you want to get into, you want to join the mastermind, right? You say, I don't need the one-on-one calls. I'm going to get into the mastermind. Here's what you'll do. You'll click that mastermind button and you'll come in and you'll click whichever payment option, right, best fits your budget. You'll click this full payment option of $15K and that'll get you in. You complete all of the fields. So I'll click this. It'll take you to a page that looks like this. You put your full name in here. You'll put everything else in here, right? You'll fill this out, put your card number in there. You put everything else in there. You'll see the payment amount here. You'll click complete order. And that's going to get you in. And remember, the first document that you're going to see, the first email is going to be what? Your confidentiality email. That's going to be that document. You go in, it's going to come from signnow.com. You'll sign off on that, and then that gets you into the program. Now, if you want to join the mastermind program and take the 2 payment option, all right, you'll go in, you'll make your first payment of $7,997 today, and then your second payment of $7,997 30 days from now. Same thing with the 3 monthly payment options of $5,497, right? You'll choose that, you'll make that first one today, and then your second one 30 days from now, your third one 30 days after that. And again, just like with the mentorship program, if you need additional payment options, speak to your coach and they'll be able to get you in. We have financing options and everything, so we can get you in regardless of who you are, all right? So we can get you in. We have so many different options to get you in. Trust me, even if you don't think you can get in, speak to a coach. We have a ton of options for you. We can finance this thing and everything for you, all right? So now the difference between good debt and bad debt, right? If you want to go in and apply for financing, I'll show you how to do that, but you can jumpstart your way by going to kindlecashflow.com/financing. Coach Sandy, if you can put that into the chat box, that would be awesome. So kindlecashflow.com/financing, that will get you in. So good debt versus bad debt. So what would be something like bad debt? Bad debt would be things like, using a credit card for clothes, using credit card for things that are not going to generate cash flow for you, things that are not investments. Using a credit card for things that are an investment is actually good debt. If you're using it to finance your business, right? It's great debt. Cash advances could be bad debt if you're using it in the wrong way. But if you're using it in a good way where you can go in, you can use a cash advance to finance your business to get you up and running, then that's considered good debt, right? Bad debt would be going in and buying a vehicle, right? Especially if it's not being used for anything like work or anything like that. Consumer debt, just racking up debt. You're going in, you're buying televisions and furniture and things like that. Payday loans, same thing. All of this is bad debt. Good debt would be going in and getting debt to go into business, your Kindle publishing business, right? Where you know that the income that's going to be generated from that business can be used to pay the debt off. This is what rich people do all the time. This is what business owners do all the time. Education, right? Going in and learning about something like this. Being able to educate yourself, as Jim Rohn says, self-education, right, can make you rich. Going in and educating yourself and using debt to get into a program like this, an educational program. Investing in yourself, investing in your Kindle publishing business. Real estate, right? Digital real estate. That's exactly what this is. I like to call this, many of you guys have made me heard, or maybe heard me say that your Kindle publishing business is like digital real estate, meaning you're building all of these individual properties that generate passive income for you. Each ebook is a piece of digital land that generates passive income for you, right? So we have a financing option. We've partnered with FlexBuy Financing. And to take advantage, if you don't have the funds on your card or debit card, you can go in and you can apply for financing. And this is how our financing option works. It takes you 2 minutes to literally go in and fill out the application. So I want you to, before I explain this application here, right, and the process, I want you, if you think that you need to apply for financing, I want you to make sure that you make note of this URL, kindlecashflow.com/financing, and you can go in and apply for financing. Right now, you'll get an instant decision in like literally 60 seconds, all right? Take a screenshot of this as well. If you lose the URL and you need to get to it, ask your coach and they'll be able to help you out with this. So here, a few things. This is only available if you are in the US and you are over 21 years old. All credit scores are accepted. So regardless of what your credit score is right now, all credit scores are accepted. The one caveat is you must make at least $20,000 a year US or more to get approved. So that's about on average $1,700 a month. The minimum dollar amount that you can apply for is $1,000, right? So you put your desired amount here in US dollars. So make sure that it's more than $1,000. And this is for some folks who might have cash already and then they need to supplement that and go with the financing option. Now, to avoid making mistakes on your application, please go super slow. Take your time and only apply one time. Sometimes we get people that apply multiple times. Applying more than once can disqualify you. It won't necessarily disqualify you, but you don't want to go in and apply multiple times. So here's how it's going to work. So after you go in, this is a super short application. It takes you less than 2 minutes. First name, last name, you put your social security number or your tax ID number here, your birth date, your cell phone number. Make sure that your cell phone number is correct, because once you get approved, this is the number that they are going to call you on to ask, how do you want to receive the funds, all right? You'll put your email address here, and you want to make sure that when you put your cell phone number, you're going to put, or your phone number, put a number that you're going to answer, because they're going to call you from a number that you may not know. You'll put your address here, your city, your state, your zip, your credit rating. And again, it doesn't really matter, just put what you think your credit rating is. The loan purpose, and you can put miscellaneous here or educational, your property status, your educational level, your amount requested, your monthly income, and then select monthly here. All right, put your monthly income and then select monthly here. So after applying, you'll instantly get multiple pre-approval offers, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment, each stating how much you've been pre-approved for. Then the next day, our rep from FlexBuy will call you to verify how the funds should be sent to you. That's why here you want to make sure that you put a phone number that you're going to answer. They're going to call you from the 772 area code. So make sure you make a note of 772 being the area code. And when you see that call come in, answer it, because that's FlexBuy and they're asking you, how do you want to receive your funds, all right? It's going to take 1 to 2 business days for the money to be deposited into your bank account. Once you fill out this application, you get approved and FlexBuy calls you. And then once you have the funds in your account, you can come back to this link to place your order, kindlecashflow.com/seminar, or you can reach out to your coach. So make sure you let your coach know that you're applying for financing if you are applying for financing. This doesn't apply to everyone, right? We also have, if you're outside of the US, we have some financing options as well. So talk to your coach if you need financing and you're outside of the US. So this is what it looks like. After you get your approval, you'll see all of the different options. You choose one of these options here after you get it, and then you go through the rest of the steps there, all right? And that sets you on your path for approval. So this is it, guys. I'd love to see your success story here. Your story here is super simple. It's much simpler than you even believe right now. Much simpler. Doesn't matter if you're a writer. Doesn't matter if you're someone who doesn't write. Doesn't matter if you know where to start or not. All that matters is that you know how to follow the process. That's it. If you know how to watch some videos and follow the process, you can do this. You can do this. Now, here's the steps that you're going to take. The first step is you're going to go over to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You'll choose the golden button. So you'll hit that golden button. You'll choose your preferred program and payment plan, whichever one works for you, based on if you want to get into the mastermind or the mentorship. Then you're going to quickly register for that program, because remember, we're capping this out based on the number of coaches that we have. We asked our coach, our coaches actually, last week we said, how many students can each of you guys hold, right? How many students can each of you guys handle? And most of them can handle about 5 to 6 students. So we're very limited in this program. So if you want to get in and you don't want to get rejected, make sure you go in, you visit kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You go in, you click that golden button, you choose the program and the payment plan that best fits you, and you get in, all right? Now, if you have additional questions or if you need additional payment or financing options, reach out to your coach as well. They'll be able to help you, right? Whoever you had that initial call with, go in, reach out to your coach. So again, go to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You'll hit that golden button. I'll show you what that looks like again, all right? And then you're going to go over and choose that payment option. Here's what that screen looks like. Let me just unpause my screen here. You go over here to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You'll click that golden button. And if you don't see the golden button, just refresh, because you may have had the window open from earlier today. Go in, refresh, and you'll see the golden button here. Click that, and then you choose if you want to be in the mastermind or if you want to be in the mentorship. And you choose whichever payment option here that works best for you. And you go in, you fill in your name, your email address, your credit card information, and everything else, all right? We've got people that are already signing up. So you want to make sure that you jump in quickly here, all right? So make sure that you jump in quickly. And if you need additional payment options or if you need financing, again, our whole motto is we are our brother and sisters keepers, right? So we want no one to get left behind here. So we're going to make sure that you get in. You just simply speak to your coach, right? But you do so quickly. We're limiting this to just a few. So once you see sold out, once you visit kindlecashflow.com/seminar, and if you see a red sold out button or text, that means that it's too late, all right? So now here's a question that we get often. You do not have to wait to talk to your coach to get in. You can go straight over to kindlecashflow.com/seminar and place your order. So you don't have to wait to your coach to get in. You can do this on your own, go in right now and then talk to your coach and let them know that you got in when you have that second call, if you have a second call with it, okay? So there you are. So take a look at this. I want to show you something. Robert Kiyosaki says the key to financial freedom and great wealth is a person's ability or skill to convert earned income into passive income and or portfolio income. This is major right here, guys. Major. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to act right now and avoid what's known as the law of diminishing intent. How many people have ever heard of this before? The longer you hold something off, regardless of what it is, the less likely you are to do it. The longer you hold something off, the less likely you are to do it. So act now. You feel this thing in your heart. If you feel it in your heart, move on it. Act on it. Your heart will never steer you wrong, right? So again, you don't have to wait to speak to your coach. Get in, do it right now, and follow these steps. Go to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You'll go over, you'll click on that golden button. You'll choose the option that resonates with you, right? So whether it's the mastermind or the mentorship, remember the mentorship comes with those additional 7 one-on-one coaching calls. And if you pay in full, when you pay in full, you'll get those additional 3 bonus calls for a total of 10, all right? So go in, register right now. We'll see you inside the program. Now, oftentimes I get questions like, Ty, how simple is this? How easy is this? Well, how many people remember the old paint by number systems? Remember the old paint by number systems? Well, it would be like here. Number 1, you paint red. Number 2, you paint green. Number 3, you paint blue. And before you knew it, even if you were the worst when it came to painting or drawing or coloring, if you knew how to simply follow instructions, at the end of that, you would have a beautiful picture. This is no different. If you can follow simple instructions, you can do this. If you can watch videos, if you can hit play on a video and follow instructions, you can do this. You can do this. You don't have to be a technical wizard, right? So I want to answer a couple of questions for you. One of the biggest questions here is, how much work does this program add to my day-to-day basis? So that's why I asked our students and some of our coaches when we brought them up on the panel, how much time do they put into this thing day to day? And that's because it is an online program that's strictly up to you. You can put as little or as much time into this thing as you have. So your days are going to vary, right? You can put time in as you get the time. If you have time on the weekends, you can put time in. If you have time at night, you can put time in. If you have time in the morning, you can totally customize this thing to your schedule. Now, the next question is, what if I'm not a writer or English is not my first language? We've got a ton of students that are across the planet, literally in over 125 different countries, many of those countries where English is not their first language, that are kicking butt with this thing. People that are doing well with this. What if I'm part of another coaching program? Will this program have any conflicts with it? Absolutely not. This is a program that stands on its own, and this is all you need. All right, so if you are in another program, this won't conflict with it. I'm part of another mastermind. What's the difference between the KCF FastPass mastermind and other mastermind programs? Well, the difference is, and I'm sure you guys have seen this, is we have a loving community. So we have a community, and when you get into the FastPass, that community goes even deeper. As you saw, where we had one of our students who needed to hit that $10,000 a month level, she needed to generate $2 additional $1,000 before the end of the month closeout. She went in and she asked a simple question, and she got multiple answers. Was able to pull herself to a point where she pushed herself over 10,000, and she got the golden plaque. Right? What if I sign up and I realize it's not the right program for me? Well, here's the thing. When you sign up, right, because of the way we have this thing structured, you're going to see immediately that this is one of the best programs that, regardless of who you are, regardless of your skill level, regardless of if you're a writer or if you're someone who doesn't know how to write, doesn't like to write, someone who's just looking to generate passive income, you're going to see that this is the right program for you. I need a different payment structure. Who should I talk to? So again, if you need a different payment structure, go in and talk to your coach. They are waiting for you. Reach out to them. If you don't know how to reach your coach, go back over to kindlecashflow.com/seminar. You can go into the coaching zone. So you can hit that green button and Jeremy will align you with your coach. All right. If I have other questions, who should I talk to? Same thing here. Your coach is going to be able to answer any questions that you have. Remember, folks, there's no such thing as a dumb question. So any questions that you have, ask your coach and they'll be able to help you out. All right. They'll be able to help you out. So again, kindlecashflow.com/seminars where you'll go to get in. You'll click that golden button, right? You'll choose your preferred program and your payment plan. You will register for the program. You're going to check your email. You'll get that email from Sign Now. You'll sign off on the confidentiality document and you'll be good to go. You'll be in, all right? And once again, if you do need to go in and sign up for financing, take note of this URL. It's kindlecashflow.com/financing. kindlecashflow.com/financing, all right? If someone can put that into the chat box, right? So that you get in. Now, here's one of the things that I want to do here. I want to have a quick Q&A. I'm going to bring Lenny back in about 1 minute. So Lenny, if you're around, I want to have a quick Q&A. All right. So I want to send you guys, I want to give you a chance to go in and take a quick break. Then we're going to come back for a Q&A. Me, myself, Marty, Josh, we're going to answer any questions that you have. Any questions that you have, right? And then we're going to give away, I think Lenny's got that laptop. I've got one of them over here. Lenny's going to give away that laptop. So you want to make sure that you go in to the break and you come back right away. And also, before you do that, when you're ready to go in and you want to jump into this FastPass program, do that right now. You can do it right now. You can use the time while we're on a break. Get in, all right? Get in, because the last thing you want to do is be locked out of this thing. You don't want us to reach maximum capacity and you waited around and it's too late for you, all right? Let's watch this quick video by Mel Robbins. I think you guys will really appreciate this. Well, maybe Mel Robbins is not going to come. Let's see what happens. All right, the video is not going to play, so. Right, so we're gonna skip over this video here, all right? But I do want you guys to go in, talk to your coach, get in right now. You can do so by hitting that URL that I gave you, kindlecashflow.com/seminar, That will get you into the program. You'll be able to get started today. All right, you'll be able to get started today. That's going to get you in there. It's going to get you everything that you need. It's going to get you into the Fast Pass Facebook group. It's going to get you into the Fast Pass members area, and you'll be well on your way. All right, so there you go. So Lenny, are you around before we send them to break? All right, let me know if you're around.
I am here, yes, sir.
All right. So Lenny, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and I'll send it back to you.
All right, awesome. So listen, I need everybody to come back because next up is this guy right here. And you do not want to miss this. Ty, you want to hold that? You do not want to miss this. I'm telling you, you want to come back. So we're going to give everybody a 10-minute break, all right? So we want everybody back here by 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We want you back here. Remember, all right, you want to be back here 2 minutes at least earlier, all right? You want to have your cameras on, okay? You want to make sure that your names are 100% correct, okay? Because we're going to spin the wheel. If your camera is not on, all right, and you are not there, we are going to move on, and you do not want to miss this bad boy. So we'll see you back in 10 minutes. Awesome.